All right. And
Right.
we are live.
Yo.
So, ha ha, ha ha, you missed it, squirrel. We went live without you. That would actually be me, see. The one hosting this wonderful collection of people.
Oh, our Kostia that wants to come in.
Yes.
And a boatsman mate? I wonder if he knows our King Boatswain's mate.
That would be a frickin' small world if he did.
Alright, let's see.
Yeah, I love when stuff works the way it's supposed to.
Let's see, where am I at?
He was a ghosty, he was boatswain's mate, and... But no, the question is if you know the king boatswain mate, which... Hang on, do I have that in
You
the
have
folder?
it in the slideshow.
Okay.
It should be. Surprised you didn't take a shot of the screenshot of the LARPing and put it in there yet.
Are you sure I haven't?
I'm pretty sure you did, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check, and no, it didn't save it in there. Okay, so I gotta fix that. Alright. Give me a moment. Because that one is too good not to share.
Oh yeah, you should go through the history of that Facebook page and see some of those on there.
And you know what? This is where having multiple... Oh, no, that's those. Ah, there it is. I found it. Time to move it into the folder. That's why it saved it in my Internet Idiots folder instead of the proper folder.
That's still an apt saving spot.
Well, no, because I use that one for everything that I have as reference to the flat earthers and creationists. So,
No, I shared an image on Sysox. I think it's the Flat Earth channel, part of his Discord. I dumped out a fruit freezer mix at work the other day, and it just kind of formed a wall around the drain. I'm like, ooh, it's the Flat Earthers ice wall.
Yeah, I saw that.
Bathed in the blood of Flat Earthers trying to get to the ice wall.
nice.
Oh, there's King's Boatsman's mate. So I finished that that business communication class without ever opening the textbook. Got a 96% in the class.
Oh, jeez.
Well done.
Now I'm in History 100. They didn't even assign a textbook for this one. That's how.
Oh, wow. See, I did a Western Civ. It's either 101 or 102 last semester. And yeah, there was no real textbook assigned. It was all pretty much PowerPoint based by, well, PDF PowerPoint slide based from the instructor. And even then, I, in the discussions when we were actually in class, I would actually end up jumping to like 3, 4, 5 slides ahead when he would start introducing a topic. Because he'd be like, yeah, we're talking about this. And it'd be like, wait, what about this? He's like, slow down.
You don't want to slow down. I can get ahead of you that way. I know what's going to be on the test.
Oh,
Well, it's
there were
hold
two
on just a second.
tests. There was a midterm and a final. I didn't study for either of them, and I aced them both.
Oh, crap. Well, no, that's actually the stuff I used to pull. especially if you have especially if your syllabus or whatever it was had all the slides handy.
Yeah. Chat window's working enough this time. Okay.
So I've got a question for you guys. What do you make of this abolish ICE no borders thing that's been going on lately?
If you're going to get rid of borders, just get rid of all nationalities, all nations, all individual governments, and just go to a one world government already.
Well, the EU is trying to do that, including enforcing their will the will for inside their borders on everybody else. Articles 11 and 13. Anybody?
Why do you think we're leaving?
I was just about to say, the EU is not staying solvent for long.
I think Hungary will be out very soon as well because they've just had enough of that of the borders thing
Has
too.
Hungary even actually been officially admitted?
Oh yeah, they're a member. It's 20 at the moment. It's 27 bloody states, and that's one of the biggest problems. It's too big, and the EU Parliament has no power. It cannot propose new laws.
Oh no!
All the laws are proposed by the Commission, which is appointed.
The bureaucracy. That's just what you fucking need.
Well, and
Oh,
even
yeah,
even then, from the way it looks like to me on the outside looking in, the EU is just basically a regionalized United Nations, and that is a ballless body of just talking heads.
No, it's worse than that.
Oh God!
The EU has total power within the bloc. It is, as somebody just said, it is a parliamentary bureaucracy. There is no power in the parliament. The parliament is just a talking shop. It gets to discuss stuff, say whether or not it likes it, and then the bureaucracy does what it wants.
Actually, say they managed to get that copyright bill for going to the secret meeting thing.
Okay, I'm back.
Wow. So hey, Jay Brown, this is right up your alley with politics, talking about the EU.
Oh, yay. I just heard the end of that. I'm like, I've been following Sargon of Akkad on this one and some other European YouTubers. I'm just like, oh God, if this goes through, that's just the end of the internet, period.
You and me and a bunch of other people that I'm aware of. But yeah, I've been emailing everybody in Europe that I freaking know, including people in the UK.
Yeah, I don't see the EU lasting. I don't see the EU lasting because
What
too many
reason is
people
there
will
to
get
stay?
fed up with it.
What reason is there to stay in the EU? Like, what has gotten markedly better because of the EU, short of the common currency?
Not even the common currency, because that's a complete.
Well, there we go.
To be honest
Because
with you,
because just look at the power. Germany has a completely undervalued currency, while Italy and Greece have a completely overvalued currency.
Oh God.
And remember, they are still nation states as well, so they set their own tax policy, but they have no control over the currency.
yeah, go figure. But if you don't have control of the currency, how are you going to actually establish a working tax policy? My thinking is that it would be difficult at best.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well adopt the US fucking dollar.
You mean you guys didn't already?
I thought the whole world did.
Wait. No, that's only the conspirators calling the US dollar the petrodollar. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Jared,
No, you're actually looking at Saudi. You're actually looking at Saudi currency. What I find hilarious is the petrodollar isn't helping Venezuela right now. We get the overwhelming majority of our fuel from Venezuela. Most of our inputs come from there.
Oh, currency, wonderful. No, you guys just reminded me. Last Friday, I responded to a friend's post about how she hates the white liberal middle class here in the U.S. And I
What?
knew what she meant, and I commented on it. I haven't commented since, but I was just like, she's like, you need to go look at how collectivism really works and look at the people who were originally here before pre-colonialization. I'm like, oh, you mean the ones that had slaves, the ones that killed anybody for even so much as thinking outside the lines? Yeah. I want that society here right now.
Yeah, no. Well, what these folks actually don't seem to recall is that more than 90% of the slaves that wound up anywhere in the Americas from that particular period of time were taken by other African black people.
Yeah, no, I know. I try to explain
sold.
that to them too.
Well, they don't get it. They don't. Either they don't want to, or they're just
They just don't
unaware
care.
of actual history.
It doesn't fit their political narrative, so they're going to ignore it.
Here you go, Jared.
That's bullshit on a stick.
Oh, hang on, let's go ahead and share this for everyone.
Ooh,
There we go.
it's because I work for a living, sir. Those guys look like they came out of a hole.
Oh,
In the last 10 minutes.
they were snipes. Those are engineering guys.
Yep. Let's see. I got.
Oh,
Absolutely.
been there a few times.
I've been there a couple times too.
Hey, I remember that.
Okay.
So do I.
Okay, I know that they have that in Groton, but here's the thing. So, us shipboard guys, the main time we did practical stuff like that was actually during log day, where they would actually set up the pipes and have us be part of it. Other than that,
Hey, look, they included Air Force. I've got.
Well, they got it right, though.
Yeah, that's pretty much Air Force. Their barracks are 5-star hotels. Fuck those guys. They need to live in what we used to.
That sucked. I mean, on a submarine we had a smaller bell than the ships do. But man, anytime we ran the diesel while we were surfaced and on the pier side and stuff with the bell out, oh, I had to go and clean all that stuff. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, that shit was hateful. Fortunately, I only got pulled out to do that once.
I was at least smart when I hit stood duty. I'd be out there as soon as I had the mid watch in nav center. Before I go on nav center, I'd go up topside, grab the bell, and take it down, and just clean it up.
You know what's absolutely hilarious? They had one of those on the Blue Jacket in Orlando. A full-size ship bell.
Doesn't surprise
Yeah,
me.
we heard it a lot during boot camp. I love it. I love that one too.
Yeah?
Here,
There you
Jared.
go. That's what it should look like.
Oh, I have one of with the formation of the 3 carriers and the first joint training ops that they did post 9/11, where it was a Kitty Hawk in the middle, Lincoln on one side, Reagan on the other.
Oh, nice.
As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, in the sharing, it's going through those couple pictures right now.
Oh yeah.
Once I had a port visit to hell. I'm not allowed back because the devil has a restraining order against me. That is the thing I can honestly claim to have never had a problem with, being banned from a port.
Had a friend banned from the entire USA
Oh, jeez.
when he was out there on a red flag. got pissed up in town one night. Realised there was a flag at the top of a flagpole. Decided he'd shinny up because he fancied it. Didn't realise it was outside the sheriff's office.
Oops. Oops. That's
Until
all
he
right.
got back to the bottom to feel the revolver in the back of his head.
I can. Damn. That's okay. I know. Listen up. This ain't no shit. Yeah. Yeah. I heard a few. I've heard more than my fair share of those.
Yeah, the no shitters.
Hell,
Yep.
I've told a few of those. Okay. But I know a bunch of people that have been banned from the UK, mostly for having conservative political opinions.
Yeah, well, we'll do that, you know. But
They did it to Lauren Southern. I was impressed.
sorry?
They did it to Lauren Southern. I was impressed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, great fun.
Yeah, it's a shame I never actually got to go anywhere fun or abroad in my 9 years.
Wow.
You know, I always found it a shame that people like that, or the people here in the U.S. who like say they join the Navy to get away from home, but then end up stationed 15, 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
2 hours for me.
Yeah, that's you know what, that one's actually hilarious. Because that does happen more often than you think.
Well, that is a big reason why I didn't even consider going nuke, because I knew if I went nuke, I'd be tempted to go subfleet, and if I did that, I'd end up in Groton, and I spent most of my time growing up 25 minutes north, right outside of Norwich, Connecticut.
Yeah,
My condolences.
I had a choice between Kings Bay, Georgia, and Bangor, Washington, and the only reason I chose Bangor is because the piloting party segment of the job duty of the Navy-Ts is so much shorter because of how far out the continental shelf is on the East Coast. I think our piloting party and maneuvering watch total was probably about 12 and a half, 13 hours, depending on which way we were heading out once we got outside the Straits of Juan de Fuca. And then, out of Kings Bay, Georgia, off the East Coast side there, it's about 17 to 20 hours, I think is what they were telling me, out of Kings Bay specifically.
Wow.
I'm like, yep.
Wow.
Back to the West Coast for me.
Well,
Besides-
in my specialisation, I had the choice of 3 units, all on the east coast of all on the east coast of England.
Were you RAF or Royal Navy?
I was RAF. So yeah, hence the radar aerial weighing 60 tons and not moving very far. But we could microwave a seagull at about 40 miles. 60 megawatts output at 3 gigahertz.
Yeah, you could microwave a seagull like that, and it wouldn't take long either.
Oh no, there were
And we could,
yeah, go
and we
ahead.
could put that lot into a beam that was 6 degrees high and 1 degree wide.
Oh. Wait. Wait,
Damn.
you're saying directed energy weapons can be a thing?
Yeah, they can.
Oh,
What's more, it was a spread spectrum system as well, back before that term was even coined.
Holy shit with a hand grenade.
when I
Seriously?
when I got aboard the Hawk, I heard stories about an idiot from the E2 squadron. Apparently, oh no, it has nothing to do with the big dish up top. This is even better.
Better?
Oh yes.
Do
Instead of shelling out the money for the penile enhancement pills, motherfucker decided to drag out part of the Drogue cable antenna array for the HF system and then have someone inside the bird key it for 30 seconds while he straddled it.
Holy shit.
Safe to say he was in medical for a while.
Needless to say, this guy here is absolutely 110% gold for a Darwin Award.
It should have been, but yeah.
No. Somebody submit that to the Darwin Awards. I'm telling you. The guy has completely removed himself from the gene pool.
Thankfully so. But the true Darwin Award winners kill themselves.
Because I've never heard of it. I've never actually heard of anybody doing something quite that stupid.
Oh, we had a Scopy. On exercises, we used our basement as the NBC shelter. And the Scopy found out there were these little rooms that you could hide in out of the way. And the reason they had these metal doors on them was because the 12 transmitters that were pushing out at least 5 megawatts each fired it through the floor into the basement down the waveguide, and he was sitting in the little room where the waveguide came through the floor.
Oh.
He slept in there for 4 hours with a live transmitter.
Oh God.
Please tell me he died properly.
Or did he turn green?
No, but he was a bit sterile.
Oh, just a bit.
Yeah,
Would that be like the Pope being just a bit Catholic?
just a bit.
Really?
Also, he didn't like the way they kept dragging him off to the hospital every 3 weeks and filling his eyes with atropine to make sure he hadn't microwaved them too badly. Because you need to have a good look inside the eyes by dilating them with the atropine, don't you?
I wonder what form of cancer finally got him.
I don't know. I mean, this was back in the 80s, so he's probably not very well these days.
If he's even in a position to be well at all. Because honestly, 4 hours right next to a waveguide, he's probably all kinds of toast.
Well,
But his
the
wife
biggest,
has no children.
I mean, the biggest problem was that because of the size of the big klystron that was directly above his head, it's not just RF that's coming off, but also some hard X-rays too.
Ugh. Wow, I'm gonna be. You know what? I would actually be really impressed if this guy was still alive to be met by anyone. Because you're talking the better part of 40 years ago.
Yeah. You just, yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Dude, I'm well over 40 myself, so don't feel bad.
I'm well over 50 now.
Well,
I'm going to be 50. I'm going to be 54 in a month and a couple of weeks' time.
I think I just might be the youngin' of the group.
You are, Jared.
I'll be 46 come the 1st of September.
Yeah, you got me by 11 years.
I'm 37, so.
You young whippersnappers.
Yeah, I'm still not getting off your lawn.
That's what you get for having such a nice one.
Exactly.
Well, that makes you the only person. I think the only person here that would not actually be old enough to have retired.
If I was still in, I'd be on year 19 right now.
Yeah, I know. I can do math.
Yeah, I'd be at year 16. But the bullshit was not worth it.
Pretty much.
if I had signed up for the absolute maximum I could have done, I would have been retiring next August.
Oh, wow.
They actually let you get away with that in the RAF. Here, it's 20 years. If you do 20 years, you retire, unless you were of a rank that would allow you to go out, that would allow you to stay longer.
Normally, we would do 22 years from the. Theoretically, you would do 22 years from the age of 18, which would see you retire at 40. However, if you were of the right rank or in the right trade stroke job, they may well sign you. They can sign you on up to the age of 55.
Interesting.
I had a friend who was who joined the RAF as aircrew, was made a sergeant after the first 6 weeks, after the first 6 months.
How the hell
He
did
did
he
his
pull that
full-
off?
Well, because he was NCO aircrew, so you are you get to be a sergeant because you are aircrew. He did his full 22 years, got signed on to 55, got made redundant at the age of 51 or 52, I can't remember exactly, and he was still a sergeant.
Whoa! So no promotion from the time he was 18 till the time he was discharged.
Correct. However, when he joined, NCO aircrew had a thing called time promotion. So basically, as you did your time, you got your recommendation for promotion, and you got promoted, even if there wasn't a job for you. Not long after he joined up, they changed the rules that you had to be promoted to a particular post. But for the guys who were on time promotion, if they got the promotion recommendation, they got paid at the rate for the rank they should have been, which included the pension rights. And he constantly got recommended for promotion, but had no post to go to. So he was actually getting paid as if he was a warrant officer.
Holy crap!
But they signed him on and kept. They signed him on and kept him on because they realised that as they were getting rid of people, they were getting rid of the warrant officers and the flight sergeants and what have you.
Basically,
And
the
they suddenly-
people who knew their shit.
Exactly. And then they suddenly realised they didn't have a cadre of experienced people to actually do the job. So they kept him on.
Hey,
So I have a question.
hey, Jay Brown,
How did-
does that
what
sound
was-
familiar? Go ahead.
I actually, believe it or not, I never actually had that problem, but I did wind up getting a couple of field promotions because people up over my head kept getting killed.
Well, that's one way to get it. But
Except the lieutenant commander whose job I wound up with, he quit.
you'll get that too.
Grabbed
But
his rifle. He picked up his rifle. He took it to the general. Broke it down completely in front of the man. Put it on the desk and said, "Fuck you, sir. I'm out."
well, what I was referring to is there was a management shift in the mentality on the regular blue side where they wanted to fuck with the higher tenure and also the way promotions were actually calculated. And in doing so, all the people that they should have been working to retain, like myself, they basically said, "Oh no, fuck you. We're going to start promoting the people who have just stagnated at where they're at. And we don't give a fuck if they don't know what they're doing. They have the time in. They should be the ones to be promoted. Because knowing your job doesn't matter now?"
Because that's just bullshit. If you don't know the job, you don't need more responsibility. That's the last thing you fucking need.
Oh, exactly. The reason why I made third and second as quick as I did is because I made it a point to know every single damn bench in my shop, because if something happens and work needs to be done, well, that's a great way to make myself an asset to the shop. Know how to work on every system.
Yeah, the whole advancement thing when I was in, they were still heavily favoring people's evals more than they were their test scores. And
Yeah, that wasn't the thing. That wasn't the thing before. Well, as far as I know, that wasn't the thing before I left the enlisted ranks. It was test scores. Test scores were everything. Test scores were your god.
Well, I understood the balance between the two, but that was the thing. You needed a balance between the two because there were people who knew their job, but didn't quite test well. They tested okay, but not as well as, say, myself and Jay Brown did. But with that, they ended up overemphasizing the eval in response to it.
yeah, we had one guy that made third class because he had been brown nosing the department chief and stuff, and as soon as he was frocked, he just started not giving a crap. He got busted back down to E3, and then when he went back to do his test 6 months later, they saw what had happened, and then they promoted him yet again because he was still getting his last eval was the last one standing. So and
No.
that's when the captain looked. You're supposed to be frocked. You have this issue. Torp is advancement promotion, and it's like, nope, this ain't going in there.
Nice. But
Well, the skipper's got the final word. That's all there is to it. He says he says you hold this rank, you hold that rank. Period. That is the end of the conversation. And his word is law.
By the way, let's say welcome to see our local co-Steve made it into the panel. But does the microphone work?
It would work if he turned off, if he or she would turn off the mute.
I know.
Hey, see, mute.
Let's get a mic check.
Speaking of mic checks, Alan, why are you still in twice? I figured one of them would have ghosted by now.
I'm in twice because I'm talking to you through my phone, but watching everything on my computer screen. Because I still haven't got around to getting a headset because I can still plug my phone headset into my phone.
Well,
This is why I have a giant mixer.
And I'm a bit of a tightwad.
I guarantee your budget is nowhere near as tight as mine.
I wouldn't bet on that.
Mine.
You would? I would. I got 50 pounds sterling that says you make less than me, or you make more than I do, or that your income is higher than mine.
I would almost be tempted to take that bet because my income is actually just disability benefits.
Oh, you're doing better than I am because I don't make dick. I make about 25 bucks a month in donations to my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. Looks like C might not have a mic.
Yeah, might not.
Well, he's still muted.
Well, yeah, but if he doesn't have a mic, it doesn't matter whether or not he,
Demutes.
yeah.
But until he demutes, there's no way to know.
Well, he said so on Discord. It looks like he's saying he doesn't have one.
Oh.
See, with all the things I have open, I'm not looking at Discord at the moment. Oh, well. Well, at least now, when you get the microphone thing sorted out, you can do what Alan does and get the meeting, the Google Meetings app for the phone and join that way and use a headset through the phone. That is one way to do it. Now that you have the link.
What do you want?
And we have a Whack-A-Ute game player in the chat now. The unfortunate bit, Rob, is Ute is so afraid of me, he doesn't come into my shows. I don't have him blocked or anything, but the pussy will never come in here.
I think I'm at a loss of what's going on.
So, on a lot of the channels I'm on, there is this idiot who goes by the name Ute or YouTube or some amalgamation of the two.
Right.
He likes to shitpost Flurfer parroting propaganda, but never answer direct questions. So, so all the channels that I am a moderator on, I have instituted a game called Whack-A-Ute. Every time he shows up, you don't ban him, you put him in timeout.
Right.
Because it pisses them off.
You know what, Rob? For those who don't know who Von Helton is, be thankful. But yeah, I would say he is probably the British version of him.
Unfortunately, I do know who that is.
I actually don't.
I have a vague
thankful.
suspicion that I've heard of Van Houten.
The time-traveling
Probably on a
space
re-
marine?
Oh, I don't know. I think I might have seen his name at some point on a Red's Rhetoric stream.
He was actually the one who won the most recent Dumb Fuck of the Year.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be it.
And what's surprising is Vaughn really hasn't been able to do much of anything on YouTube, if anything at all. All his derping has been elsewhere, which, thankfully. Oh yeah, Rob, I thought you would love that reference.
Hey, what about the latest from Mr. Thrive and Survive?
Oh, the
don't
weather,
get me
the
started
weather
on-
radar.
Doppler radar.
Oh, I was
don't
gonna
get me started on that.
I was gonna say, Alan, do you want to do a do some work with me to actually do a rebuttal video to point out just how retarded he is?
Damn right. I'm already investigating it quite hard anyway, and getting as much info on the WGS-88D radar system that your National Weather Service uses, just for that purpose.
All right then, because I've actually been going through and even digging up my old NEATS mods, the Naval Electronics and Electrical and Electronics Training modules, where it covers all types of radar, just to show the branch-specific supplied references that this motherfucker should know if he did anything with radar. Oh, wait, he was an AG? He was the enlisted weather guesser? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
He knows nothing. He might
He
be
knows
lucky.
less than nothing.
He might be lucky enough to have some idea of what the pretty pictures are, but it's going to be about it.
No, he hasn't even got a clue what the pretty pictures are, because he thinks that that the low band is from 0 to 100 feet at 250 miles.
Oh, God.
When the aerial beam is pointing up at 0.5 degrees. So on a flat plane, that's 3,904 meters above a flat plane at 250 miles.
Oh, look, he can check the sun directly.
Oh,
He should be able to get a fantastic view of the south pole of the sun.
Yeah.
yeah. To all those who have suggested to me to respond to this, especially seeing as how, as an avionics tech in the U.S. Navy, the training is 2 months of Common Core, which is common basic electronics between the intermediate level, organizational level, squadron guys, and the aviation electricians mates, the AEs. all three rates, or well, two rates and one that's divided, all have the same basic training for the first 2 months. And then we go into what is called Strand, which is then specific to intermediate level AT, squadron level AT, and then the AE guys. In the intermediate level AT school, we dedicate the first segment of Strand is all vector algebra and other advanced computations. I had fun in that one. And then we...
You did better than I did.
and then after that...
It was a pain in the ass.
Oh, it was, but our teacher... So for the mathematics portion of both core and Strand, we had civilian instructors. All of these civilian instructors also happened to be retired military. And most...
Yeah, that's what we got in BEE.
Yep. Well, that's essentially what they were covering, was a lot of the topics from a BEE course. So...
Right.
But they couldn't teach worth shit. Like, the basics they were good enough for the core part of it. But when we got to the vector algebra and Strand, I essentially had to teach the class over again that evening for the people who actually wanted to join the study groups. Then we got into the advanced electronics, where we were talking about MOSFETs, all different types of amplifiers, which I had fun with the shunts. I actually made a few just for the sake of, oh, what's this? Get someone to poke it and it zaps them. Yeah, I was that asshole. But then...
You know what? That stunt got pulled exactly once in my while I was in ETA school, and yeah, that asshole got that court-martialed.
Well, see, here's the thing. I didn't get in trouble for it because my instructor at the time was an O-level guy, was a squadron guy, and he was laughing his balls off because he saw me building it, and he was like, "You're going to get a Marine, aren't you?" I was like, "I don't know what you mean." Because our class was half Marine, half Navy, so it was easy pickings.
Oh, damn.
But then our third segment was all radar fundamentals and troubleshooting and applications. So it was everything to do with the radar system, from the basics of how the circuitry works to generate the radar pulse, how the transmission works, how the actual aperture works, and then the detection on the returned waveform and how it actually works out the detection from the reflection and everything.
You know, I wish they'd teach the operations specialists that shit, because I wouldn't have had to spend half the time on the bridge I did.
Yeah,
Seriously.
It would be amazing if the people who used the equipment at least had a basic understanding of how it worked. So when they have an actual problem, when they actually would create a work order, it was actually accurately reported.
Oh, you
I know
mean
where you're
like
going from that.
podcast going down because somebody turned off turned off all the receivers. God, I hated that guy. Or the operations specialist that once his gear was all nicely calibrated exactly to mil spec, would go through and he'd change it because it quote don't look right.
Oh, you're not calibrating it based on how it looks.
No, you calibrate it based on actual observation and measurement. It goes like this.
Do you want to know the worst cock up I ever heard of? I wasn't there the day it happened, but a newly posted in supervisor, sergeant, when they were doing the high power run on the radar and had all 12 transmitters run up, instead of having them turned off from the transmitter hall one at a time, flipped the switches to off in the control room, and he killed 10 transmitters in under 10 seconds.
Yeah, that sounds That
Each
sounds
one
like some of
being
the smarter
fed,
people used to have to deal with.
each one being fed by a 91 kVA motor generator set
Ow!
that was mostly being fed from the big diesel generators we had on the unit.
And exactly how many of those generators survived?
Oh, they all survived, but National Grid weren't very happy with us.
Well,
We're not really allowed to export energy. We exported to the National Grid.
Oh,
It also blew every fuse in the bloody radar. There was about 1,000 of them.
and you guys for the next about week getting them all swapped out.
Oh no, I think they got the radar back up in about 4 hours. But
How many people do they have doing?
But the 385 fitters that would have been on duty that night would have been running like buggery.
No shit. How many people? I'm actually wondering how many people they actually had to have to get all that shit done.
3.
Just those 3.
Just those 3.
Oh, I feel very badly for them now.
Hey, I was on shift one night and we had a short circuit in a 240 volt AC supply, and
Ooh, I bet that was beautiful.
well, I mean, it was in a 13 amp socket, so it wasn't that big a problem, and it tripped the wall supply to the rack, so that again wasn't a huge problem. But of course, we had to. There were 2 supplies coming in. The radar had enough redundancy that you could actually switch half the radar off, and it would half of each rack off, and it would still produce a viable display. So we had to turn half the radar off so that we could get the load removed, so that we could, because it went and blew the main 120 amp input fuse, which wasn't our responsibility. So we only knew that it was one of 2 fuses in the Property Services Agency's distribution rack.
Mm-hmm.
We tell the electrician from Property Services Agency that it is one or other of the fuse. And I was just running downstairs. I'd just run downstairs from turning stuff off upstairs. And I'm running across the transmitter hall, which, because of the number of transmitters, was generally had a very loud hum. And there was this rather loud pop, and then everything kind of went quiet.
I wonder what happened there.
The electrician just tried guessing which was the right fuse.
Oh
Oh,
God,
good
you
God,
fucking
right.
dumbass.
Yes, he pulled a
Weren't those things
fuse
actually marked? I
that
would
had
think
about
they would-
100 amp load on it.
Oh,
Apparently the
crap.
spark was about 6 inches long that came out with the
And-
fuse.
Oh, I believe
I'm
it.
more curious as to what was left of the electrician.
Everything. The bugger got away with it.
What? Holy
Yeah.
shit! If I tried something like that, I'd be in several pieces, and all of the crispy. You could take what was left of me to a KFC.
The
And
idiots
sell me
are
out. Nobody knows.
the idiots are lucky like that.
Aren't they just? So of course we then had to go around every bloody rack and switch the other half all off, so that he could put the 2 fuses back in, and then we had to run the bloody radar up, and then we actually had to find the fault that caused the fuse to blow in the first place.
You know that reminds me. There was a after I got out, I worked for Schneider Electric in their critical power and cooling services division. So I was a field engineer for battery backup and emergency power systems.
Uh-oh.
Talk about fun. We were installing a new system at a hospital in Central Massachusetts. And part of what we were doing was adding on an additional battery cabinet to one of their existing systems to increase the available backup time should the generator not kick on. Well, because of physical restrictions in the room, this additional cabinet had to be in a separate room and then wired through that way. So we needed an actual local electrician to do that work. One cabinet is part of a 580 volt DC bus with 30, this one, was it a 32 or 36? It was either 32 or 36 batteries in the cabinet. Motherfucker didn't tag out properly.
Oh God!
The fireball that came out, the fireball that came out of the cabinet that we saw as we were watching the dumbass on camera was phenomenal. How he walked away with only singeing off his hair and superficial burns is beyond any of us. Like, I swear, the idiots are the lucky ones. This guy somehow grounded out the entire cabinet, creating a massive arc with the potential of almost 600 volts DC. To say that that cable he was pulling was welded is an understatement. There was a massive chunk out of the metal shelf that was gone.
I wouldn't know how he survived that because I don't think he should be able to.
We were surprised. I mean, he had, come to find out after the safety report, he did have ruptured eardrums and a few other what they called concussive injuries. But he survived, and he somehow did not get severely burned. But
did he get court-martialed?
Oh, he was probably fired. He was probably dropped from the contract, and then he probably lost his job with the electrical company that he was working with. Because, sorry, that is major safety hazard. And it was one of those, he couldn't deny that he was not wearing the proper PE. He could not deny that he was doing things improperly because we inspected it, told him, don't do this work yet. You need to do this, this, and this as your safety checklist before you can bring the cables in to connect it. He ignored us. We all had the proper PPE. So when that fireball went off and we ran into the room, you could see it on camera where he's there dazed, not properly suited up, and then you see the three of us run in where we have our gloves on, we have our suits on, and we had our hoods in our hand at that point, but we weren't actively doing the work, so we had them with us. So it's like, yeah, see, we all had our gear, and we're using it properly and properly dressed down. What about you, motherfucker? Oh,
Yep.
Oh, you weren't? You didn't want to listen to us? Well, security cameras got it.
Hey, C, if you're out there, give us a mic check.
Oh yeah, I noticed he unmuted, but nothing yet vocally.
Seems like we've got very low attendance there too.
Yeah, well, some of the people have not fully read the plan of the day. Despite me oh, just Charlie. Okay, just call him Charlie. T. There we go.
But
yeah, so
sorry if hey guys, sorry if I sound a little off right now. I had to put the dentures back in.
But like, so Skeptic, normally Skeptic would be in here, but he actually has what time did he say he had customers till? Until about 10 o'clock Central tonight. So, not
So
much.
that's going to be about an hour before movie night starts.
Yep. So he may not come onto this, but he is still planning on being part of movie night. And see, Halsoy hasn't done it yet. I think Bo has been busy, as he hasn't been around recently, but he still only has access to read the plan of the day. And same thing with another Bubblehead Stargazer Jim, who I don't think he's been on a panel just yet.
Okay.
And apparently the iPhone doesn't... Okay.
So here's the question: If Skeptic is supposed to be dealing with customers from now until 10 o'clock Central, how far he is playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds right now?
Sorry, what was that?
His Discord says he's playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds at the moment.
Yeah, it's been saying that for a while. There are times like it'll say I'm playing Star Trek Online when I'm not.
Actually, I turned that shit off on mine.
Oh.
Okay, I think I know why Charlie's having the issue. He's connected to the Shit Talk Central voice chat in the Discord. So you definitely need to disconnect from that.
Probably help.
Alright,
Because we're not in there.
so... Alright, hang on. I'm gonna mute here. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna jump over to that to give him a little more help.
Okay.
Wait. So we're supposed to keep talking, huh?
Seems like it.
Alright,
What
can
we
you
talk
hear me,
about?
Charlie?
Open borders for the United States. How cool is that?
As cool as open borders to the EU.
Which is to say, since you're a Brit, which is to say, fuck that shit. I got better things to do.
Correct.
Like
Yeah,
actually
I mean-
be able to being able to protect my home and my town from turning into a no-go zone.
Oh, but no-go zones are fun, remember?
Only if you want to keep the sniper out. In which case, they become loads of fun for the sniper.
Yeah, I can't understand why anybody would want to have open borders and just let everybody in. I mean, we got took into the EU as a common marketplace, not as a common form of government.
Well, these things happen sometimes.
Yep.
Oh yeah, let's ratchet it up and ratchet it up and not give you any choice.
Keep going.
I mean, the Republic of Ireland, they voted not to join. Or they voted no on one of the big important things that were going to combine Europe even tighter. And because they voted no, they had to have another referendum until they voted yes, so that they could vote yes.
Yeah, well, I do not foresee the United States taking remotely seriously that kind of crap.
open borders, it's just rife with so many problems that people just either don't know about or don't want to consider about or just don't care. And if you try to explain it to anybody that's on the far left in our country, you might as well just go talk to the brick wall outside your house or wherever. I mean, it's just
See, here's the fun part. I've actually talked to a number of veterans, some of which I didn't even know. And the general thought from them is, what the unholy fuck? Why is that a thing?
yeah. I got some very liberal
We-
veteran friends that are like, no, I don't want that at all. That's not what I
We serve,
joined
we
the
serve,
military.
we serve for all of that time in whatever capacity we served, only to have some idiots try and completely obliterate it.
Pretty much.
And based on the sample I've taken, of veterans at least, the general impression is that none of the people that are actually calling for this are veterans. Not one.
I think I would agree with you there.
Yeah, same here. I mean, being on the other side of JBLM from you, Squirrel, I get them coming in because they live more in the Olympia area because it's actually cheaper to live there. They come in and I'm not supposed to talk politics, but they'll bring up stuff and they're like, "What do you think about the open border situation?" I'm just like, shake my head, and they're like, "That's what I thought. Me too." I mean, we don't even have an open border with Canada. Why would we want to have an open border with Mexico?
No, they want the abolition of both borders.
Oh, I
And
know they do. I know they do.
any protection of our seaways. So why did C just connect to the fan room? That seems like a silly thing to do. Anyway, but
We're
having-
working on it. Don't worry.
No, it's just kind of entertaining on this side. But yeah, no, I mean, like, when it comes to politics and being so close to Evergreen, and literally I'm like a 3-mile drive, so like maybe a mile and a half straight line distance from Evergreen State College.
Oh,
Yeah.
ow.
Yeah, and
My
guess
condolences. Did
oh,
actually
all
you
my
live in the same general vicinity as Mundane Matt?
Why have I
says-
heard of Evergreen
Well,
State
two
College?
Evergreen State College is the one where they got where a bunch of SJW students cornered several people, including Brett Weinstein, and screamed at him about how he was racist for turning up on a day for
Yeah,
going to work.
on their day of absence, day of
Absence.
Oh,
He actually had some really icky things to say about the day of absence. He thought that the methodology they were intending to use that day was completely out of line, banning all the white people from campus. He wrote that email up. He showed up that day. He was attacked that day, and when they finally found out about the emails that he had written on the subject, they attacked him again,
yeah, and
which then went completely viral all over the planet.
well, the whole reason why the whole reason they had the white students off campus is because in past when they've done these day of absence, day of presence, the white students had access to the campus. The non-white students had to go off campus. So they were trying to
Actually, believe it or
trying to
not,
turn around.
that was the only year in which they elected to remove the white students from campus. Every other time, including this year's day of absence, they elected to go elsewhere. That was their decision.
I know, and it should be their decision where they want to meet up and how they want to learn about this. And again, I use "learn" in air quotes there, but yeah,
Well, again, if they chose to go off campus, that's not them being ejected from the campus. They have access to the campus all they want,
I know.
and
but
that's
they
where
don't
your
look at it that way.
argument fell down.
No, I know that's where their argument fell down. I'm just saying, this is their interpretation of things, and I'm just like, guys, I don't want to talk about it. And I get the students coming in there all the time complaining about stupid things, because they come over and they complain about the cost of cigarettes at Safeway, and I'm just like, it's a Safeway, it's a corporation, a grocery store. You really think that their convenience stores are going to be lower priced than the grocery store?
They're
across the
not.
parking lot?
On top of that, you got one better. Most of the cost of, if we didn't have the taxes that we do on cigarettes in Washington State, they'd be probably about $2. A pack of them would be like $1.50 for $2.
Oh, I know.
80% of the cost for a pack of cigarettes is taxes is actually just Washington State's taxes. We got the
Yep.
highest sin taxes anywhere.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, we actually had a demonstration up in Seattle a few days ago. Actually, it was on Wednesday, demanding open borders and no deportations and all of this crap. And my entire thought on the matter was, what are you guys on, and where can I avoid it? I need to know this.
Oh,
I must know. You must tell me now. One of them actually suggested that he was high on life, and I told him he was out of his fucking mind.
I
'Cause
just
you don't grow up with that attitude unless you're on some seriously hardcore. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, no, I was glad I was working on the 4th of July and didn't have to deal with any of those people.
Oh,
Not to mention the paid 8-hour holiday day plus an hour time and a half for the hours worked. Made it really nice.
nice.
Still didn't get a full 8, so I didn't get a full double time and a half for the day, but still double time and a quarter. I could deal with it.
Oh, it sounds like my time on Wednesday because of working on the holiday. So I got the 8 hours for July 4th. I had to go in and work on a couple systems, so I ended up getting 4 hours on the clock additional onto that, which means over Thursday and today, I only had to work 3 or 4 hours to get my 40 for the week. And ended up with a couple hours of overtime, so not going to complain.
That's good, man. Nice,
Yeah, I've had better.
Jack. Yeah, try working. I don't know what your base rate is, but I'll tell you, if it had been my dad, he would have been looking at quadruple time and a half for the 4th of July. And the sad part of it is, he would have taken it in an instant. Because my dad would work a 40-hour week in the radio room, and then take on overtime shift. He'd trade he'd take it for somebody, because to him the money was more important than hanging out with us. And they use that word "was" intentionally.
You know, there are times that the additional money does come in handy, but it's a give and take. You still have to maintain a balance, and that's where.
See, my dad's problem was he didn't do balance ever. My dad didn't do balance the same way that SJWs can't seem to figure out which end is up, or why not having borders would be a bad thing.
Well, like I said earlier, if you're going to get rid of borders, get rid of every individual nation, get rid of all the individual currencies. I mean, it really is an all or nothing proposition. Because even though, yes, the United States was a country founded with immigrants in mind, there was still a proper process. I mean, there's still this whole determination between legal and illegal that they don't understand. And I had a discussion with someone that I also served with where he posted something that was completely irrational. So I replied to it with an irrational comment. and it went hilarious because he tried to say that, oh, you're just saying that No, what was it? An illogical response from an outside observer. To which my initial response was, well, an illogical post requires an illogical response. And in me taking the time to actually lay out the position and why the original post was wrong, ultimately what it came down to was him saying, why do Trumpsters always have to reply with full paragraphs? Ha ha ha. Dumb fuck. How many times do I have to remind you, I did not vote for dumpster fire?
I didn't either.
To be honest, neither did I. I wasn't really all that fond of the idea of having Trump for a president, although at the moment he's not doing terribly. But I most certainly did not want Hillary in power.
Well, no, and that's where I will admit it, and I've said this from the beginning. My vote, because my state allows write-ins, I wrote in for Cthulhu.
You should have said something, dude. I'd have done the same.
Oh, no kidding.
I voted for Johnson, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is, Johnson, if you were looking at it, yeah, I think Johnson would have been the best choice of the three, but I was so pissed off with how the primaries had gone and the general election cycle up to that point. I was like, fuck it, I don't want any of you guys.
My
As,
wife.
as someone looking from the outside in, it was amazing how you managed to pick two such useless candidates.
So, what it came down to
Here's
is
the thing.
Hillary was not picked by the Democratic voters. She
was selected by the Democratic Party.
Yeah, she was selected by the party long before the primaries even began. So that was one glaring thing. And the reason why Trump actually got the nomination is because there was such infighting on the Republican side that he was the only one that the voter base had any interest in getting behind because, well, he's not like everyone else, and everyone else has pretty much fucked us over to this point, so why not? Let's see what he can do.
Let's go with the long horse. The long shot.
You don't like
As
to
a
say.
matter of fact, the American public tended to agree with them, at least in the states that actually made a difference.
They didn't want a traditional politician, and that's precisely what they got.
Exactly.
Who? The Republicans? No,
Yeah.
they didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't get a traditional politician.
That's what I mean.
What they got was they got easy test players. What they got.
That's what I mean. They didn't want one, and that's exactly what they got. They didn't get one.
Well, he's actually doing as the populist candidate. He did amazingly well because most everywhere was predicting he had a less than 1% chance to actually win, even on election night. And everybody's looking at the exit polls, going, "No, Hillary's got this in the bag, dude.
Oh,
You might as well not have bothered going out."
well, no, that's part.
And when it all shook out, guess who had way more votes than the other one?
Well, and that's the problem is the mainstream media who was reporting that were ignoring all the polls that were showing that Clinton's support was declining as her campaign went on. And especially as she was making more appearances with celebrities than actually getting out there to the voters themselves, her actual support and her actual numbers took a nosedive. But the liberal media is not going to say that. They're going to puff up who they were really backing, which was Clinton, in the fact of, well, if we say it enough, people will believe it and act accordingly.
And some people did believe it. A great many people believed it. They shouldn't have. My problem with Hillary Clinton is that I actually know the woman. We've met.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
She probably still remembers me. She likely doesn't remember me very fondly. I was one of the very few people that told her to get fucked.
Well, what really, like, the final straw for me, even considering her as a viable candidate, when she had that speech about landing in, what was it, Bosnia under sniper fire. And then the video came out where, yeah, bitch, there was no fire when you landed.
There was.
They wouldn't have
Honestly,
allowed. They would not have allowed that.
I will tell you something right now. There was no fire anywhere near that woman.
No.
Why? Because people like me were out there clearing fuckers out for weeks beforehand.
Well, no, and that's the thing
There
is,
was
and that's the thing is, she said, "Oh, I landed in sniper fire in Bosnia. I had to rush from the plane to my car with my head down." Bitch, you strolled down the flight line shaking people's hands.
Well, she
Yeah.
was taking a page out of Brian Williams' book.
that.
Now, give her a break.
Actually, there is one. You have one thing not quite right about that. There were, in fact, snipers. There were snipers all over the place. They were all ours.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, there were a couple people there. And fortunately, I had enough control over the situation to get a couple of people out that would actually have opened fire. Of course, at that particular moment in time, they knew her better than I did. I learned later why they would do that. Everybody remember Monica Lewinsky?
Oh yeah.
She was worse than Bill. I shit you not. She was worse than Bill.
you know, it's just I'm glad that family is out of politics now.
Well, they are for now, but right now they're trying to groom Chelsea.
Oh fuck that, no.
They are seriously trying to groom Chelsea to take over if her mother doesn't get elected this time around. Because I'm fully expecting at this particular moment in time a second shot between Hillary and Trump and Donald.
Well, I guess I'll be writing my name on the ballot then.
I don't care who goes up for what. I look at someone's platform. If I like your platform, I'll vote for you. If I don't like your platform, fuck you.
Exactly, that's how I look at it too.
Well,
And honestly, that's the way you're supposed to look at it in American politics. Or actually, pretty much in any politics.
what? No,
That's what you should be looking at, not who's actually most popular.
well,
Strategic voting is a way to screw us all.
Turn politics into a team sport.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
well, what's happened?
my methodology is actually a two-step verification. First, I'm going to check your platform because I am registered as an independent. So, but that kind of sucks for Rhode Island because I can't vote in either primary because those bastards.
Thankfully, I'm in an open primary state.
Yeah, lucky bitch.
we're in a two-party primary too. I know how you feel, Jared.
Yeah. So I have to wait to see who everyone else decides as the main candidates. But then it's okay. What is their actual platform? What is their actual stance? But then, do they have a history in public office, and what is it? Because if they're saying one thing, but their history points at another, sorry, you lost my vote. Integrity is huge for me.
Oh yeah.
You see, here's the fun part about the 2020 election. Mr. Trump is running again. That is not a question. It is going to happen. He's already got his campaign manager. Everything's and the ball's already rolling. Now, Mr. Trump coming into 2016 didn't have a background in public service of any kind. He was just media and real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know what the hell he was going to be up to. Now he's got a history, and that history is I made a bunch of promises during the primaries and the election, and I've made a large dent in all of it, and that's just in the first 2 years. He's made a huge dent. That wall he was talking about, it's under construction at this point. There's been money aside for it, the whole bit. He has turned out he's turned out budget deals because they didn't include it. He's been working on enforcing immigration standards, which has only partially led to the current excoriation, because that was a Clinton era policy that nobody seems to remember.
Yep.
Mr. Obama deported more people than the two presidents before him in just a 4-year period. And that was the first 4 years. The second 4 years, he went even harder. Mr. Obama also governed by executive order. Mr. Trump hasn't signed more than 5 or 6 of those, and he's in the entire 2 years he's been in office.
Yeah, because he's trying to actually do it through the legislative process the way it is supposed to be done.
The current trade wars, he said, the current thing with the tariffs,
Mm-hmm.
he has a valid reason for doing that. It's because, in fact, we have been paying for everybody else to sit on their asses, including Germany, I might add, who is currently in the process of fucking us.
Yeah, I
They're in
haven't.
the process.
Where's his soccer ball?
Go ahead, Alan.
Germany's been in the process of fucking everybody for the last 75 years. It's what they do.
Well, that is the thing about Germany and Japan following World War II. When they realized after everything shook out, it's like, okay, so we can't invest in a military? Okay, thanks.
Actually, the Japanese... See, here's the thing. The Japanese have gone to the trouble of being mostly fair in terms of business practice.
Yes, that they have.
They pick up a market. They pick up the market. They operate them, and they operate within the market. Germany, on the other hand, and probably most of the governments from the EU will tell you, is currently running the show because everybody's indebted to them. They own the World Bank.
According to
They
this,
actually own the International Monetary Fund. All and at interest, and the Greeks are currently pissed off because they're getting charged an interest rate, an absolutely usurious interest rate. They get a check, and the first month's payment, they get a check from the International Monetary Fund, and the first month's payment is almost half of the check they got. So they're having to do, they're having to take the money in, do whatever the hell it is Germany wants them to do, including take massive amounts of imports, because Germany is mostly a net exporter, and without its exports, it doesn't get to survive. And without the UK, they'd be screwed. You want to know why Brussels is trying to keep Britain almost entirely under EU law and out of representation as a result of Brexit? You know now.
Oh, jeez.
Because the UK has been what is it, Alan, the number 2 contributor?
Yeah, we're number 2
overall
contributor overall.
Losing that kind of money is going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot.
The thing that really pisses...
if the rest of the EU can't afford to take Germany's imports, everybody starts running at a massive deficit, and sooner or later the German economy is going to fail. And the second it does, the EU is finished. There will be no EU because everybody's going to be fucking broke.
Yeah, because they'll rely on Germany rather than having us as well to prop them up.
Pretty much, yeah, because that's what's happening. It's what is it? I think the top 3 are Germany, the UK, and France in that order.
Yes, I think you're right there.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yep.
And everybody else, pretty much everybody else, doesn't really put in because they're having to take out just to keep their economies afloat.
Yeah, it's about that. The bit that really pisses me off is this divorce bill that we've got to pay. When the EU hasn't had audited books for something like 20 years. So how the fuck are we supposed to know how much money we owe them if we don't even have accounts for 20 years?
Well, unfortunately, that's actually part and parcel of the bureaucracy. And unless the bureaucracy gets off its ass and does the books, there's no way to find out. None.
Yeah,
Well, they can't do the books. They've done the books. The auditors refuse to sign them off for
because
20 years.
they're wrong and they're fudging shit. And
Of course they are.
no accountant is actually going to sign it knowing that there are those issues, because then it's their ass on the line.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, even if the accountant did sign them, there's no way we can get them.
Oh, no, that's the thing is, once the books are signed in that sort of legislative branch, they are then public record. Any auditor,
Oh.
yes. There
Yeah, there
there
that
are
would be the reason they haven't been signed.
exactly, because once they sign them, it's then known how it's been fudged and how the numbers have been messed with, and then the independent arbiters can go back and go, okay, well, you as the accountant, you recognize this, you broke the law by signing it, you're spending time in jail. Oh, and by the way, the entire legislative body who made this happen, y'all are fucked. Because that's what really, in that sort of instance, that's what gets them, is the paper trail. And the easiest paper trail is the money. That's actually what got Capone and other organized crime people in the 20s. It wasn't because of the actual crimes they were committing. They got them on tax evasion. They got them on their books.
Yeah.
Yep.
Follow the money.
See, the fun part of it is Germany making the no pay, no interest loans to itself. Brussels is in the same boat.
Well, Germany has a great advantage because with the EU, they have a currency that's, for them, terribly undervalued, as I said before, and for Greece especially, and Italy and Spain and some of the southern European countries, they're stuck with a currency that's incredibly overvalued for them, and they have no control over it. They would have as much control if they used US stocks.
Except that the US dollar actually has something behind it. See, the thing is,
Not so much anymore.
Yeah, we have yet to fail to make our payments. Our credit rating is absolutely through the freaking ceiling.
But no, part of that is a problem is because we've almost missed payments because of the budgetary cap that had to be corrected under Obama. They had to lift that cap so we could, on paper, make the payments. But our own currency, the U.S. currency, is a credit currency. It is not a hard-backed currency. Hasn't been since the 70s.
It hasn't been since considerably longer ago than that. I mean, you're talking about shit going back into the late 40s.
No, they started with using the bonds in the 40s, but the actual removal of the gold standard was done in the 70s. That was the official death of hard currency in the U.S.
Yeah. My mother to this day has a $2 silver certificate that from my birth year. And a 1972 silver certificate worth $2 in silver.
Okay, I just put in our side chat here a list of executive orders per president, and it's from UC Santa Barbara. But they're saying that Donald Trump has done 63 so far executive orders, and this was last updated on March 20th of 2018.
Okay, so we could add one more to that because he signed an executive order to end the family separations. What I find hilarious is that as soon as the issue became known to him, mostly by means of public outcry over a viral picture that turned out to be an outright lie, he signed an executive order ending that, and was
come on,
excoriated. He's still
YouTube.
being excoriated for it.
So I just went to go put it into the YouTube chat, and it's saying you're not logged in, you fucking bitch.
I got it on the YouTube chat for you.
Wow. Sometimes I hate Google. Maybe it's what we're talking about. Maybe we're just not being... Wait. Are we not being critical enough, or are we being too critical?
Wait, which side are we being critical of first? Before I answer that
Usually,
question.
if you're being too critical, that's when they get you.
Well, I don't know, because we've hit on so many subjects. It's tough to tell.
You mean
Well, right
it's
now
like we
we're-
actually have our own brains engaged and we're thinking about these and discussing them no matter what side we're on?
I know, right? What's up with that?
Civil discourse, what the hell is that?
What? Hey, Team Skeptics in there. How did nobody? Somebody had to have voted for Theresa May because she held her seat. She held her seat in Parliament. Because if I'm not mistaken, the way that works, you have to be a member of Parliament to be eligible for the Prime Ministership. Am I right or wrong on that?
Almost, because you can be prime minister and be a member of the House of Lords, which is of course an appointed body, not an elected body. However, I think it's been a very long time since the Prime Minister has actually been a member of the House of Lords.
Well, it seems like it might be possible coming up because I hear Jake Breeze-Mogg is a member of the House of Lords and an odds-on favorite.
Oddly, I believe he's also an MP because you can be both a member of the House of Lords and an MP.
Really?
Yes, because even a member of the House of Lords can stand for election.
I did not
Technically,
know
there
that.
is only one person in the UK who cannot stand for election:
Which is
the Queen, or the monarch.
Oh, the current monarch.
Yeah.
Well, maybe who knows? Maybe Harry will stand for. Oh.
Actually, them two lads, from my point of view, have done very well for themselves, I believe. The service they have given to this country has been pretty dang good.
Well, they were both military, which is, I
Yeah,
think, almost a requirement for royal men anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, they've had proper military careers, full military careers. Yeah, and they've both done combat tours in Afghan.
Well, I can't fault him for that. I really can't. It seems like that would actually see. Here's the thing: everybody says all sorts of mean things about Robert Heinlein Starship Troopers, and my little brain pad says, well, what's wrong with the way that was actually set up? Service guaranteed citizenship. That is probably the least fascist way you could do that. And if you're a citizen, then you can go into politics or be a police officer. You are more than you have put your ass, but your own personal ass between whatever the hell it is that we're having a conflict with, and the rest of the body politic. You really have to think about that.
Fuck
Well,
you,
if you look at,
YouTube.
What?
I'm telling YouTube to fuck you.
At the ancient Roman Republic, military service was required before you could actually become a politician.
Yeah. Because I look at it this way: military personnel are what you need when.
There's somebody that prefers the Republican Party. Good space guy.
Oh,
Just the name made me laugh. I was just like, that might just be enough to get me to vote for him or her.
whoever
What
they
was the name?
are. Good space guy.
Good space guy here.
Good space
sure.
guy.
Alex, you're gonna be
Yeah,
fucking-
hold on just a second here. Just so you guys can see this.
Yeah, please do. I want to see this.
Hang on, let me switch so you can screen share. Alright, go for it.
Oh, damn. Susan Hutchinson also on that list.
Yep.
He used to be a newscaster for one of the major, I think it was actually Cairo up here.
Yeah.
FDFR.
Yeah, I know.
I have no idea what FDFR would even stand for.
I have no clue yet either.
All right, give me a second.
A lot of independents on here though for us. I think I'm like up to 4 or 5 on counting through my ballot.
I don't know, Good Space Guy kind of wins it for me.
Well, this is just a primary, and apparently I have the option to vote as an as a registered independent. So,
Woohoo!
yep.
You know what? Yes, I put that F in there intentionally, Giggle. I have no idea. Let's see. FDFR, Access Washington. That's the top hit is for this guy, Brad Case. And not interested in the spokesman. Let me have a look here.
Turn for a second. I'm gonna go look this up too. No, I only want the results for that.
VoteSmart doesn't seem to have anything at the moment. Oh dear.
Let's see here.
Maybe Access Washington actually has it. I don't know who.
All right, let's see here.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not telling me. It's not telling me anything either. I just actually went to the.
I'm wondering if he made it up.
It wouldn't surprise me if he did.
The guy looks like, honestly, the guy looks like, kind of looks like Fox Mulder.
Kind of does. Let's see. Other professional experience: 15 years directing international media and communication campaigns for corporations, nonprofits, politicians, and individuals.
I don't.
Has a
No.
has a BA in government and philosophy from the University of Virginia.
You know what? I'm not liking that thought. We can't tell who is who.
Yeah. Okay. Good Space Guy might just get it just for this picture here. Give me just a second. All right.
All right, let me know when you're about to share.
Speaking of, I got a
I'm ready
fun
when you
one
are,
for you.
Jared.
I got a fun one for you.
All right, ready for you.
Oh, damn. You know what? I like it. Sorry, Good Space Guy.
Oh, that is an epic beard.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. The small
Free market.
small spending Good Space Guy invested in became prosperous. Woo.
I like it. He's been electorally defeated 18 times.
Yeah.
Poverty of the big spenders command economy continues.
Let's see.
Wait. Bring that back up. We got to see that statement again. We got to read that out.
I was looking at the statement when you dropped it, man. Don't do that to me.
No worries.
Put it back.
All right. So Charlie, if you're in here and can hear us, go ahead and unmute and give us a mic check.
All right.
You do that and start clearing up the crap under there.
There we go.
Here we go. Ball trick. Okay. Yeah, a very Republican sort of attitude, but scroll down a bit. Yeah, that's a very Republican attitude.
Yep.
You know what? Guy's got my vote.
He reads like he's just freaking out there, but you know what? He's definitely got the Republican attitude. Definitely got that Republican attitude. And we got a contact number. Yay, we can call him.
This is freely available on access.wa.gov, so.
Access, yeah. Speaking of politicians, I got one for you guys. You're going to love this.
I'm worried.
You probably should be. Right here. Should come up. Come on. Do the thing.
Oh, this
Why are you
one?
not doing the thing?
Wait.
Yeah. Illegal aliens deserve right of passage to freely enter the U.S. What's up with this? You know, this woman got through the primary more or less unopposed and unseated an incumbent Republican by a whole 14,000 votes. As in, that was her grand total in a district of 700,000 people, of which more than half are eligible to vote.
No, they wouldn't fake the numbers and stuff the ballot box. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, according to the official records, there were some 27,000 people that actually voted, and she got something just over half of that, about 54%.
Jeez.
Well, I do like the news source there, Breitbart.
Well, you know, sometimes you see. Here's the thing: you read both sides.
I do. That's why I'm saying I like it, because people. I don't understand why people just solely go to the one news source. You need to read everything that you can to get the best picture.
Because their view agrees with mine, and why would I want to talk to the angry people against me?
Totally agree. But I'll be right back. I got some homemade biscuits and gravy to go chow down on.
All right. And in the meantime, to highlight an addition from Rob with a headline from the chat. Today on Judge Judy, an iPhone is suing a laptop after contracting a virus during a one-night stand.
I love it. I love it. Because pretty much all that's going to be left is the laptops and the iPhones here soon. I don't know if the chat can see this, if the viewers can see this at all.
Oh, I'm making sure that they got a view out of it.
Okay.
That's where, if you guys give me a couple second heads up, all I have to do is one click and it switches everything over so they get a good view of what's being screen shared here.
Well, that's a good thing. But yeah, this is 9 kinds of wrong. Illegal aliens don't deserve right of passage. They deserve to be deported. They're breaking the law.
Well, to be fair, if you change the law, then you're changing the status where they're illegal. So
Yeah, there is that, but here's the thing. Like, I got part of that discussion that I got myself into on that guy's comment thread was there's this whole thing about illegal and legal, and someone wanted to point out, it's like, oh well, they're seeking asylum, and it's like, you know what? And if they're seeking asylum, when they get here,
Asylum, please.
Yeah, exactly. When they get here and claim asylum immediately upon arrival, they are not treated as an illegal immigrant. Why? Because they are going through the proper process to claim asylum. The only way that they could have done it in a better manner is to actually have a vacation visa, get over here, and then immediately upon arrival, as they're at customs, and they check in, and it's be like, whoa, I would like to apply for asylum. You do it right then. You don't hesitate. You don't make any false pretenses. You know what if you're actually doing it, you know the basics of the process to get it started. And guess what? If you come and do that, I have no problem with you being allowed beyond the border to a place where you can be comfortable and then get your story out. And then after the verification of your story, if you are approved, hey, welcome. If your story turns out to be bullshit and you're denied, sorry.
There you go.
Sorry. Bye-bye. It's not that difficult.
No, but
That's
that's
actually-
how it's meant to
Actually,
work.
it's being pushed all over Mexico right now. If you want asylum, take your ass to a border checkpoint and ask. What's the worst they're gonna say? No. You'll at least get a break from whatever it is that's chasing your ass.
Yeah.
Because it can take months or years to get one of those completely sorted out.
That it can.
Okay, this is wrong. If she says that illegal aliens deserve right of passage, and she goes and gets the law changed, then they're not illegal aliens anymore, are they?
Nope.
They can walk up to the border checkpoint and go, "Hi, I'm here," and they go, "Okay, right this way, please."
Yeah, change the law. Don't argue whether you should enforce it or not. That's kind of.
Yeah, because
That's
that is
exactly right.
such a better argument.
If you're gonna, if you want the law changed, then you change it. If you don't want the law, if you want to just violate the law, then expect to suffer the consequences.
Well,
And that was an argument that was used on me by somebody that had a very large distaste for the doings of Count Dankula.
See, and this
He broke
is
the law, therefore he broke the law. He was found guilty, therefore he's an ass. I don't agree with anything he has to say or do.
well, the way I look at it is this: is before you get overly critical about the current law in the books, how about you fairly enforce them across the board and see how it goes from there first?
And if you still don't like it, then bug your politicians to change it. If enough of you do that, you won't have a problem. You won't.
Yeah, because the people who are against immigration, no, we're not against immigration as a whole. We are against illegal immigration. Actually,
Clogs up our welfare system and turns the whole thing into muck.
well, and it's just that is the response to that really is asinine. And this one actually came up in that comment thread too. Is Well, your ancestors didn't come here legally. They just invaded and took over the country from the natives, which I laugh because unlike most people, my family, specifically my maternal grandfather, was huge into understanding our family tree. And thanks to him, we can actually trace back to when both sides of my family arrived in the U.S. Anyone want to take a wild guess as to what decade it was?
Probably the 30s. Probably the 30s or 40s.
Close. The 1910s, and prior to that, the 1870s.
Yeah, after slavery was abolished.
After slavery, and both through Ellis Island.
I can't use that. Both of mine predate the U.S. So.
Well, and here's one that's even more fun. No member of my family existed on this continent prior to 1946. Oh no, that's a lie. My maternal grandfather his family turned up in 1935. He was about 8 years old, and he joined the Air Force in 1945.
Mm.
Or no, 1945. Because he was informed that he would do so.
Yeah.
So guess what? My family on this continent doesn't predate the early 20th century either. But they still want to make me guilty for shit that happened 400 or 500 years ago.
Yep, that's where I just laugh at them because
Your ancestors owned slaves. All I gotta say, yeah, okay, whatever.
So I do have American Indian in my blood, so I
well, so you have an inherent claim to the land.
Oh, I'm worse. I like to joke sometimes that I can't even get along with myself because I have French, English, Native American, Irish, and Scottish blood.
Yeah, that sounds about right. No, mine is all British, English, Irish, Scottish, and a wee touch of German.
All right.
Oh, and a bunch of Swedish.
So I'm not going to say German because I've my family name. So the last name you actually see dates does go back to Prussia, not Germany, Prussia.
Russia. A completely different beast.
But
Big difference.
But we are the ones who taught the Germans how to fight properly. Also have Welsh, Scottish, French, and Polish.
Go on.
So kind of makes for an interesting mix.
That does make for a rather interesting mix. No, my paternal grandfather was a Swedish sailor.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's just absolutely outstanding. But no, that's the only one I can't track. I can't track this guy down. I have no idea who he might have been. There's any of about 400 people, and I have no way to determine who that is. I might be able to narrow it down to who was on shore leave at the time. But that was still we're still talking about. But at that point, we're still talking about the 1950s, the early 1950s. So yeah, nope, no slave history on my books. No ancestors that stood with Custer at Little Bighorn. Nobody.
But if your family was from England in the past, then surely you bear the responsibility of us all for the triangular trade.
No.
And the
Because-
shipping.
If I'm not mistaken, most of the Africans that landed in German or in England were pushed off as indentured, were run out as indentured servants. They actually had their freedom within what is it, 5 or 10 years.
Well, most of the triangular trade, it was British ships which sailed to West Africa, picked up the slaves, sailed to the Caribbean and the US, dropped off the slaves, picked up the cottons, shipped the cotton to England where it was processed, and then we shipped the cotton back to West Africa as a processed product.
To be fair, though, even if your ancestors had been here, chances are they wouldn't have been slave owners anyway, because most people were not slave owners.
Well, you had to look at who the 1% was.
Yeah.
Because anybody that owned more than one or two slaves was going to be part of the 1%.
Yeah.
Or had an extreme economic need for them.
I'm saying most of the population during America's slave time were not slave owners.
Well, here's the fun part: you actually had black plantation owners. That had slaves.
Oh yeah, and even then, there were more Irish immigrants that were slaves and indentured servants than there were African-based. But no, that doesn't
what
count.
state you're in, but
Well, it also there's another thing that it really depends on, and that's which country you were in, because most of the African slaves were shipped to Brazil.
Yep, Brazil and the Caribbean. But here in the U.S., there was actually a higher number of Irish indentured servants and slaves than there were African.
And did someone say the Irish weren't white? Somehow or another?
Oh no, they don't count because they were white.
Of course. To be fair, and then how many of us here have an Irishman or an Irish woman somewhere in their family tree? Hands?
I do.
I do.
I don't. Welsh and Scottish.
God, there's a match made in hell.
Well, and then I have the Prussians and Polacks too.
Oh, thank God I only have English and Welsh.
I'd like to see an Englishman and a Welshman, any English and any Welsh get along well enough to pull that off.
Oh
Or
yeah,
be able to
they do.
communicate.
They just start bitching about the Scots and the Irish.
Exactly.
Well, no, I knew a Welsh woman way back in the day. And oh man, that woman could yell. Oh, you'd look at her funny, and she'd have your ass just that quick. Needless to say, I kind of don't have the best opinion of most Welsh. I've actually seen, I've known a lot of Welsh people. Most of them tend to be kind of garrulous, and then scream at you in a language that doesn't seem to exist or make any sense.
All
Well,
right.
it just doesn't really go with vowels, that's all.
All right. Well, speaking of, Alan, are you able to see the YouTube chat?
Yes.
Yeah, can
I
you
have no idea what it says.
Can you translate what Rob just said?
Please?
Cymru is Wales, and I don't know what the other two are because although I am in theory Welsh, because my grandfather was born there, so when I was asked to represent Wales and England didn't want me, I agreed to be a Welshman.
Nice.
That was back in the days when I was a competitive rifle shooter.
Welsh and proud. Okay. There you go.
But yeah, I was born in South London and grew up in East London, in the easternmost London suburbs, But as my grandfather was born in Wales, yeah, I qualify to be a Welshman.
Actually, my great grandmother was Scottish, and I still, in theory, I'm qualified to be Scottish if I really wanted to. But
Yes, you could represent Scotland at sport if you wish to do so.
in fact, I also have the right to wear Clan Anderson's tartan if I so choose. I don't, and my kids don't have that right. Not unless I decide to wear it. I'm a little old for that now, though. If I was going to claim that level of Scottish heritage, I should have done it years ago.
Well, Rob does have a point. The reason why you can't really claim Scottish is because you don't sound enough like Shroomy.
I could have wanted to. I could do it. I just don't want that.
And actually, speaking of Shroomy, that motherfucker hasn't made his presence known over here. You know,
He should get on that.
I am going to message that little bitch now.
Get him in here.
Oh no, he's not a vet. It's just he's often in other channels. Actually, he's not even showing online in Discord. Huh.
Wow. I'm not sure if I should be terrified or amused.
It's more surprising. Main chat. There we go. What the fuck?
I have no idea.
Yeah, and
I have no
It's-
idea who's doing what, and I don't know, and I don't want to know.
no, it's a GIF over in one of the Discord servers that just. Wow.
But why don't you show him that? Why don't you show him that one I brought that I posted earlier? The one I posted right before the chat started.
Oh, if you want to share it, you can show everyone yourself.
Well, it's in the it's actually in the side chat.
Well, I'm busy doing something else, so that's where if you want to bring it up.
Yeah. Give me a second. I gotta grab the link again. Actually, let's not say we did. I'm gonna do this the other way. Let's see where I put it. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. That's something else. Oh, before I do that, I have to show you guys this. For those of you who are semi-science minded around here, there is going to be some serious giggles. For those of you who are not, it's going to go right over your heads. I apologize in advance when that happens. Let me grab that window real quick, if it shows up today. Damn it! Quit that. Where'd it go? Come on. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's not here. Not a lot, but I'm not getting the thing I want. Here, let me just do that. Let me do it the other way. We do this the other way. I'll just take the entire left-hand screen and call it good.
The technology's kicking your ass.
Yeah, today, just for the moment.
Yeah, I've seen that one before.
I saw that when I went, what? Oh, crap. You can't say it's not, you can't say that that's actually not theoretically true. Except, of course, you're not actually talking about raptors. Where'd it go? Okay, let me kill this from here real quick. Nope. Oh, I forgot I was doing the entire thing. Stop that. You guys don't need to see the inside of my email box. You really don't. You don't want it. It's kind of squirrely in there right now.
Kinda?
Kinda. Oh, I don't have it on. Why did I not save that on my? I could have sworn I saved that to desktop. Let me go find it.
You know, I would have offered to pull it up from the internal chat, but because of that wonderful fuck up where YouTube and Google decided to log me out of everything, I don't have access to it.
All right, let me bring this over here real quick. Pop, there we go. And here it is. Let me go ahead and share this out. We get back to the right freaking tab. The screen.
That's clean. That's clean.
The screen, boss. The screen. There you go. Open borders begins at home.
Yeah, and don't get pissed off when I just stroll in half drunk, half naked, and want dinner.
Nah, I figure I'll just help myself to your computer. You don't need that laptop, do you? Anyway,
I could use a new PlayStation 4.
You're gonna find you ain't gonna find my door open or unlocked.
Oh, that is a beautiful TV. I like it. It's mine now.
Yeah. See? What'd I tell you?
Well, what do you mean? I came here with it.
Actually, what it would be is, well, dumbass, don't leave your freaking door open.
No, I like this one better. Possession is 9/10 of the law, and it's in my possession now. Oh, that one went over really great growing up. Being the youngest of 5, it was like, hey, that's mine. No, it's not. It's in my hands now. Son of a bitch. Are you calling mom a bitch? God damn it.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
yes,
Get him, bro, get him.
I'm the youngest of
Get him.
5, and we are we were huge on the semantics in word games.
It's actually raining in Auburn.
What?
Oh, King
About
5.
15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Well, a little downpour, and then and just as quickly as it showed up, it stopped.
Oh, so a typical summer shower.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I didn't. I made note of it because it was like running down the window directly in front of me, but that was about it. I looked up, said, okay, and then went on about my business. You guys probably didn't hear it.
It's been
Should I
sunny
have?
almost all day out here in Shelton.
Oh,
My condolences.
I had a nice storm roll through out this way earlier, which was it was a wonderful reprieve from the 95 plus weather we had for damn near a week straight.
Wow, dude.
Oh, and not just mid 90s and above, fucking humid on top of it each and every
Oh.
day.
Damn. You need to cook your biscuits like that. You need to quit it. Or get some ice-packed underwear. One or the other.
Oh, no, this is the time of year I strategically do my preventative maintenance in the middle of the night.
I bet you do. Because I would. That
Here you go,
noise.
Jared. This one's for your dad.
Ooh, yeah.
I gotta see this.
Yeah.
Wait for it. oh yeah. There you go. You have no idea how many times I've pulled that. You know what? I've actually pulled that one over on people. A bunch of environmentalists running around screaming about how we're polluting the air and poisoning the water, and I said, "Hey guys, you hear about this stuff? It's called the hydrogen monoxide. It's a monoxide? Where is it? Where is it? It's in everything.
It's everywhere.
We use
It'll kill you.
It was literally everywhere." And I told him it was used in factories, and all this other fun noise.
You know, I kind of want
And
that shirt.
And as it happened, they actually started a petition to have it banned, and it was damn near banned right here in Western Washington. They almost got it to the Seattle City Council. The banning of all things, the banning of hydrogen monoxide and all things containing it.
Oh no, this one is great.
Do you want to explode? Why take a chance?
Hey, that's where the spontaneous human combustion comes from.
Yeah, I know, right? What's up with that?
Could almost have a Side Strikes movie night on this. On this podcast, just for the heck of it.
Oh, joke of the year.
Oh, let's see what else they got. Children are now being used to sell dihydrogen monoxide so that those trying to stop its distribution are demonized. Just kidding, this woman sucks.
The first question, the first word that comes to my mind, I probably shouldn't say this, is what?
And
Just
how
to add
well?
to the end of that second sentence.
Wow.
In all its beverages, it is known to cause severe burns on contact with skin. It is also known to kill, and in very small amounts. Either severely excessive.
Oh,
dihydrogen monoxide
wait,
ingestion, or breathing any amount of it.
Wait, someone read that first comment.
You people are always making up some new crazy rumor about Starbucks. You don't have to go there. Support your local coffee shops. I'm sure they don't use that.
Oh, ignorant on display.
Well, if you read her next comment, it's like, do you think I'd be a member of this group if I was? And it's like,
Well,
he understands what the point of the group is.
yeah, and someone replying to her didn't.
Exactly.
But that first response, that was classic.
You think? Wait, scroll that down just a hair.
Oh, okay, let me go back.
Poe's law.
I might simply know.
Let's see, where's that?
No, it's
And I
Scroll
just
up.
needed. I just want. Okay. What am I doing with that? Was that one's mom's? Is she having a problem opening it?
No. I need
This one?
Yeah. Coffee contains caffeine, which has nitrogen. You know what else has nitrogen? Trinitro
Toluene.
Truline.
Toluene.
TNT. Now you think
Most
coffee's
explosives
safe?
Almost all explosives contain some level of trinitrotoluene.
Yeah. I love this. I love this group because it's just so hilarious how much trolling goes on here between us sharing these pictures out onto our Facebook pages.
I'm going to be honest with you. That entire group is trolling.
Exactly.
The
That's the whole
trolling
point of it.
is real.
Lab
Even
tests
one
show
of
high
the-
levels of
When you
dihydrogen
get
monoxide
large groups of
and
kids-
ascorbic acid. Simply orange?
Yeah.
How about simply no?
Oh, the trolling is real.
Ah.
The fun part is when people actually take it seriously.
Did you know that everyone at Dihydrogen Monoxide Awareness drinks dihydrogen monoxide? Oh, the hypocrisy.
Now, the one below that isn't wrong, but the person kind of misses the point. Although it is funny.
It's hilarious. Where's Geo when we need him?
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, he should be awake in a couple hours. But we'll be on Psy Strike by
Higher
then.
DHMO content. Did you know that all of our seagoing ships required DHMO? All of them,
Yep.
without exception.
Well, and we are subject to even more forms of cancer, so DHMO is bad. Oh, wow. Oh, gotta start them young.
Shouldn't those poor people be in hazmat gear being that close to DHMO? I mean, what level of exposure is this? Do we have a cure? Will they need to be quarantined? We need answers, people. Fish lives matter.
Wait, let's see the comment below that. Sadly, the fish died.
The fish
Any-
died anyway, dude. Due to DHMO withdrawal symptoms.
I can show you the world. Oh.
Oh god, I'm gonna have to click that. Last week I visited a city pool along with the family. Only realized later that the entire place was awash with DHMO. My 10-year-old granddaughter and I had been swimming around in the stuff for a good part of the day. Her 1-year-old sister, who was taken to the kiddie pool by her daddy, kept screaming and crying in protest until she was brought out. The little ones can often sense when something is wrong, but my toddler grandson was apparently having too much fun. Troll sites, you gotta love them. The comments for this one. Fresh picked organic strawberries from Forest Grove, Oregon.
Have those been sprayed with dihydrogen monoxide?
They're not sprayed.
So they have never been sprayed with DM?
My stepmom is allergic. She won't pick the sprayed berries.
All right.
Here you go for the creationists.
Wow. So, I see Charlie has joined. Can we get a mic check?
Charlie, speak to us. Say something.
Alright, we see the lips moving, but didn't hear anything. Yay, technology. Alright, is he even... Let me do it this way. Alright, that would be why. So you need to unmute. There's still a button on there to...
Best marketing ever here, Jared.
Oh, wow.
Alright.
I'm not sure what to make of that.
I
Troll expertise level infinity.
yeah, I know, right? I can you save me a copy of this picture somewhere?
Yeah, I can download it and
Yes, please.
Hey, there we
Radio
go.
check.
We should hear you now.
Radio check.
I hear you.
I hear you.
A little echoey, but I hear you.
Okay, you're going to have to mute the PC.
How about that?
Yeah, that's better.
Much
That's
better.
better. Yeah, I always used to forget to mute the PC first too.
So, glad to see our Coastie finally made it.
Hey,
Finally.
plus one puddle pirate. How you doing, man?
All right, man. Not too far from shore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's,
So, how much over the height requirement were you?
I think I was right there. I'm like 70 inches, so I was right there.
Is that you're talking about the old 6-foot height limit thing?
Yeah, you got to be at least this tall so you can walk back to shore.
Yeah, if the ship sinks, you can stand up and walk the door.
reach the loading. God damn.
So you mean to tell me there are no coasties in here? I'm very surprised.
Actually, all of us in here, except for you and Alan, are Navy. Alan was RAF, and of course, you being the Coastie. Some nights we do have a Oh God, what country is Bo from?
Denmark.
Okay,
Denmark.
He's Danish.
that's right. He is the Dane. Everyone
The
else
proper
is
Viking.
We
Yeah.
all get to get.
Yeah, and we've had a couple army guys, had a marine in here once, but main gun hasn't shown back up yet, and I even emailed them saying, hey, if you want the link, it's in the Discord server, so go ahead and message me. But nothing. But
Well, I'm kind of two things. I spent 7 years in the Coast Guard from 1981 to 87, no, 80 to 87, and then I became a cop. And then, like in the 96, I joined the government. And I retired. I actually retired from both. I retired from the Coast Guard with 29 and a half years, and from the government with 27 years.
oh, nice. Talk about maximizing that retirement benefit.
Oh, it worked out. It worked out having my active duty time with my reserve and all that. It worked out pretty good.
Yeah, when I joined the post office, like half the people that I was in my orientation classes with were all either ex-military or previous government employees that retired and could still work. So
Yeah.
Wait, I'm confused. Where am I? I could hear people talking. I just can't see nothing. Am I in the right spot for that, or?
Oh, yeah,
do I
yeah.
go back to.
Oh no, you are part of the live show now. So this app that you're in now, right now we're actually screen sharing something, which is why you can't see it change between who's talking. But yeah, so the actual live panel portion that is broadcast out is here through Google Meetings. And the reason why I did that is so we have a larger panel capacity. Because regular Google Hangouts, the capacity is 10, including me. But with this, now we can have up to 25 people in here if that many people wanted to show up. And
Oh, cool.
and
I'm
also,
sorry, 25 people would be a train wreck.
oh yeah, it could be. But granted, at the same time, with how even when we've had 10 plus in here, we've still been able to manage it better than movie night.
that's not
I
hard.
don't think we've done quite as much, though, have we?
Oh, we are actually. This is week 6. This is the 6th week in a row that we've been doing this solid.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, but I don't think everybody in here is drinking quite as much as you drink when you get onto movie night.
Believe-
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and even then, there's only a handful of us who actively drink when drink calls are made. I just happen to be one of them.
You know what, Jared? I'd join you if I had it. You can ask Jay. He'll tell you what booze costs in this place. Serious.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
Oh, I believe that.
Oh, Croc Squirrel. I actually worked at the main Safeway grocery store that I worked at in the liquor department at one point. So trust me, I know how hard it is for people to part with their money on that.
You know, I like it when we actually had the state-run liquor stores, because frankly, what the price on the sticker is actually what you freaking paid.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and earlier we were talking about that, and that is one thing I do like about how over in Europe and I actually saw it in Japan, the way they did it was the price you see on the sticker is the price you pay. So my first time actually shopping out in town when I was in Japan, I was starting to try to do a calculation in my head. It's like, okay, so the subtotal of everything that I grabbed should be this. Taxes should be roughly this percentage, so trying to do that additional math myself, and when I got to the register, it was just the subtotal. I was like, oh shit, that's
What?
right, they put the taxes in already.
Yeah.
Can I just say something, Charlie?
Yeah.
There is a button on there should be a button on your phone that you can turn the camera off so that you're not waving the camera around all the time every time you move your phone.
I do. Tell me how to do that.
All right, so tap the screen so all the controls pop up. And at the bottom where you saw the unmute, there should be one that looks like a camera. Click that one and it'll turn off your camera. There you go.
Oh. Ah, good. So you don't see my dip.
Yep.
Yep. It's so much better. Took me a while to work. It took me half a show to work that out as well. And I'm on a really slow connection at times, so the video going up was pretty much killing everything I was doing.
Oh,
Okay,
the puppy's
okay,
dreaming.
You guys still hear me? Okay, good.
Yep, we still hear you.
Guys, so I heard you guys talking about like immigration and all that stuff. What's funny is I worked for the Border Patrol for about 3 years before I got into investigations. And I actually did work on the southwest border near San Diego, which was where my ship was stationed at. So I also did my reserve time there. It's interesting the way things are going now.
So what is your view on it? Being someone who's actually worked at the border, what is your take on everything that's been going on?
In my opinion, we caught everybody and sent them back. You know, families, everybody went back. We took them right to the port of entry in San Ysidro, and we took them to the turnaround, and the Mexican government took them. They had to. I mean, there was no choice.
They have no choice. It's their people.
Yeah, I mean, I've even had. Well, I can't say that on this, but let's just say somebody I heard actually made somebody who was trying to climb back out, but that wasn't me though. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Then after I did that, I was just working interior, like guys who had warrants, final orders, guys who had committed crimes. You know, I went out there and looked for them, arrested them, and put them before the judge.
Yeah, that's something that really has annoyed me. So I live outside of Boston, and a few years ago, there was an upstanding regular U.S. citizen who was riding his motorcycle, and he got sideswiped by a guy in a pickup truck. Once they found the guy that did it, that was in the pickup truck, they found out he was an illegal immigrant who had 15 known DUI charges just while he was here in the U.S., and he had been ordered deported no less than 5 times, and he was still here.
Well, you know what happens? What happens is, let's say I catch a guy this week, right? The government doesn't have enough holding facilities. They don't have big prisons. They only have certain areas, certain centers on the East Coast where you could actually arrest somebody in Boston, bring them down to Batavia, and then they have to see the judge. But sometimes you can only hold them for 90 days. After that, they can go before the immigration judge and say, hey, I've been here for 90 days. I'm not a threat, whatever. Can I get a parole? And 9 out of 10, they're going to get the parole. So now they go back home while either they fight the trial or wait for a removal. Like going to Mexico is very quick. Those turnarounds are like a week. But there are some countries that either don't want them back, or they give our document guys, the guys that get the passports, they give those guys a hard time. And then there are guys from countries who don't exist. Countries that don't exist are called stateless. They have no state, nowhere to go. So they can try to ask another country to take them. If that country says no, then they become a burden on the United States.
Well, how can you be stateless? Like, is it
Russia? If you're from the Soviet Union, the former Soviet Union, yeah, you're stateless. Those guys will be here forever. They'll die here.
Yeah, see, and I think this guy, he was from Central America originally, and last I heard was his country was saying, no, we don't want him. He's committed too many crimes here. And it's like, well, no shit, he's doing the same shit up here. It's just frustrating because what can you do with someone who is that intentional known lawbreaker back in his home country, and he's doing the same thing here, or worse here.
Well, what happens is that turns into like a State Department thing, and if the guy continues to commit like serious crimes, then they'll hold him for longer. They'll do a 90-day, then another 90-day, then 180 days. But if the country doesn't take him back, their attorneys will cry all kinds of shit, and they'll wind up releasing him. They'll put him on an ankle monitor, but I know guys. I've had cases where some of my guys have cut their bracelets, and then I would have to try to find them, like a warrant squad type thing.
That doesn't always go well.
Nah, sometimes you find them. Sometimes, I mean, it's hard because these guys don't really have like credit cards. They don't give their real name. If they're working for somebody, they're working under an assumed name. So to actually find them, it's hard work. I mean, I've done it for numerous years, but it could be a pain.
What's going on,
Yeah.
fellas?
Evening,
Hey,
Skeptic.
Skeptic.
Hey, Skeptic, we've been mostly talking modern politics this time around.
Oh man, sounds fun.
Is that my hero?
I
Skeptic?
admit it was mostly my fault.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today?
Don't breathe them.
And Charlie, yeah, that
Yeah.
is Team Skeptic.
Yes.
Yo,
I'm
you're
here.
my hero, man. You're my hero.
Oh
I
no,
love
I'm just
watching,
a normal guy.
dude. I love watching your channel, man. I crack up, man.
Yeah, I have a good time with it. You know, I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. You know, like I had a person today trying to ask me advice on content creation, like in person. They were here at my shop, and I was telling them, I was like, man, you just gotta be ready to look stupid. You know, just look as stupid as you can, because people love that shit, and I fucking have a blast with this, man. Like, it's really enjoyable for me.
Dude, how many idiot markers have you gotten on one of your episodes? Like,
38, I think, was my highest, and I'd have to go back and look at which video it was, but it was a recent one. And
dude,
I
love those
almost
shows.
wanted to go back and put in 2 more idiots just to make it an even 40, but I thought, nah, that's being intellectually dishonest. So I said, fuck it, I'll just go with the 38. But I have a new format coming out. I have some new videos coming out that I think everybody's really gonna fucking love. In fact, I'll tell you guys, because there's not a lot of people watching that watch my videos. So I'll go ahead and tell y'all what I'm about to do, and y'all can tell me what you think. So I've had a bunch of people ask me to do other idiot videos, like not just flat earthers. So I've kind of been toying with the different ideas of geocentrics and the evolutionary deniers, things of that nature. And I'm only going to try to stick with what I know. And I mostly know physics and science and math. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to those idiot cringe video compilations, and I'm going to make a series called like Humans versus Science. And then at the bottom, it's going to be like each video will be, you know, how the individual science is what made them look like a fucking idiot. You know, so like I have this one where this guy takes off on a motorcycle. He's got a huge backpack on, and his center of balance flips him backwards. You know, so I'm gonna make a gravity video and then explain. You know, be funny about it. I'm not just gonna be all sciencey like, hey, this is what happened here, but I'm gonna be funny about it. I think people will like it.
So you're gonna
Yeah,
do
you're the best, the best.
an actual analysis, but still deliver it in your own style. See,
Yeah, and keep it at the idiot cringe compilation style, but not as many different videos.
See, I think that is really going to be the best way, because you can't deviate from your own style too much, especially with how you've established it now. So it's taking your style and just going to a different type of target.
Yeah. But see, I mean, I would love to do other videos, but I just feel like I'm out of my element. Not that I couldn't learn the material. Like if I wanted to talk to somebody about the proof of evolution, I mean, for me to literally have an educated conversation with somebody would take months, because before I have that conversation, I'm going to go learn everything I can about evolution. You know,
can
there's
help.
people that can spit out, you know, different genes and different, you know, progressions of life through different species. I mean, there's so many different things that people can pop off, and I just don't know that shit. And I would prefer to stick with what I absolutely know. So I can talk about physics and quantum mechanics, but outside of that, it's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be a learning experience.
Dude, you
Hey,
can do it, man. You can
check
do
out
it.
check out what's big.
Wait,
within-
wait. Whoa. Jay, holy shit. What the? Oh my god. Okay, get ready for an idiot counter on this one. So, Skeptic,
Oh, yeah.
listen to this. I just had someone try to tell me that dihydrogen monoxide is the chemical name for caffeine.
Oh
Nope.
wow. Who told you that?
It's on the
No,
screen. Look.
Oh, it's a comment we were reading because we were going through dihydrogen monoxide awareness group, which is a total troll group.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All
I've
right,
used that before on people.
All
Like,
right.
what do you think about dihydrogen monoxide?
experiment
No,
sake.
like, oh.
So for a moment, let's get everyone to mute because I'm hearing a lot of static, which means if I'm hearing it, then pretty sure everyone's hearing it. So let's get everyone to mute. Let's try to figure out who it is. Okay. So it's not Jay. It's not me. Not Squirrel. All right.
Mute my-
Not Skeptic. All right, Charlie, go ahead and unmute. There,
Yeah,
yep. Yeah, it's you, Charlie. So, Charlie, when you're not talking, go ahead and mute. Just that way we don't have that background static going on.
Hey, roger that.
All right, there we go. We're all safe now.
Let's see what else I can find here on the. Here's
Yeah,
one for
so-
Skeptic to
What's
look at.
that? That's awesome. So
Let's
they have
tell
never
Mama's
been
allergic.
favored. Yeah.
Oh, Sarah, you're out of line. You're wrong. You are so wrong. You can't even be wrong.
And we saw this one earlier too, Skeptic.
Oh, when we saw this one, I didn't see that first comment. Even Moses knew the dangers of it. Why do you think he parted the Red Sea?
That's fucking awesome.
I still don't know what to make of this picture.
Yeah, I sent
Was
you
that
the picture.
Nestle cigarettes?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, but look at the brands on each
yeah,
one.
I got you. See it. Marlboro water. Nestle cigarettes.
Somebody did some really fun work
Yeah.
with that, actually.
Two companies making money off of their customers' chemical addictions. I see no difference.
Oh. I didn't, you know, I'm looking at the meme. I'm not even reading over on the right side. That shit's fucking hilarious.
It is.
Some of the
It's
comments are just great.
brilliant. All right. Actually, speaking of, I did grab that picture a couple of minutes ago, and now I'm gonna stick it on my. I'm going to toss this over on my own Discord, in the Great Meme Wars.
I don't know if you guys saw this one.
I glanced over it, didn't read it. So, clouds are actually a form of hallucinogen for horses. For centuries, wild horses would travel up tall mountains to reach low-floating clouds. Clouds are made up of the chemical properties dihydrogen monoxide, which is also a chemical property found in marijuana. The high,
property, and it actually works.
yeah,
Worthless property.
the high that horses get from inhaling clouds can last anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, with some horses reporting feeling buzzed the next day.
Read the first comment on the right there, Jared.
Yeah, horses reporting.
Horses reporting. That's ridiculous. We all know that self-reporting is a notoriously unreliable form of gathering data.
Oh, there you go. Smothering batship helicopter parenting since 1976.
Could you get me a copy of that?
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
to.
that is awesome.
I like the one below it.
I'll-
Actually, autism. It's definitely worse than your child contracting polio.
That's bullshit too.
I'll get that on the Discord server to you guys later.
Actually, yeah. If you
I
want
have to say, as a father of 2 boys with autism, that when my daughter was born several years later, we still had her have all her vaccinations.
well, yeah, because it's
Because-
almost like they're actually good for something. Now,
Yeah.
now, Jay, if you want, go ahead and throw that into the mess decks. That's actually
Oh, I will.
That's actually what that one technically is for, but whatever.
Anyway, I'll be back in a sec because I've just got to go and get some DHMO.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Don't hurt yourself while you do it. I mean, it is toxic.
Yeah,
Try
back
to
in a
avoid
sec,
breathing
guys.
any of it in.
Should I
I keep
send
mine
it?
right here. I keep mine right here at my desk.
Should I,
Yeah,
should
well,
I
I've got to go
send
get some more out of the fridge in the kitchen, don't I?
I need that one because anytime a flurfer mentions, well, why haven't we been back to the moon? That is the perfect one to reply with.
Don't worry.
They'll love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I went to the doctor and I had to pee in a cup one time, and he literally said my pee was so yellow that he prescribed me some dihydrogen monoxide to cure that. And it worked.
Oh,
Now that we finish painting our chemtrails, we can add some happy reptilian overlords. There you go, Bob.
oh, Bob Ross,
Get down
you
with your
were
bad self.
amazing.
All right, I'll download that one too.
Yeah, I looked up the chemtrail people, but there's not a lot of material out there. It's just a bunch of crazies. Just chemtrails. They're illuminizing our heads.
Well, that's the thing. When it comes to the chemtrail stuff, the easiest thing to do is find them quoting that and just laugh at them. Like frickin' Ranty. Flurfer. But he said he went out there and was watching the chemtrails for hours, and he got, get this,
Sunburnt. I know.
Chem
I saw it.
burns.
Oh my. Oh, I
They
saw
were
it. I saw it. That
chemtrail
dude
burns.
looked like a fucking lobster. Don't fucking stand in the sun staring at clouds all day, bro. Go inside and fucking spend time with your family. You know.
Set up the P900 for that.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
No.
This actually gets more fun, believe it or not, because there are some of these idiots who are absolutely certain that vinegar, acetic acid, gets rid of chemtrails if you give it enough
Oh
time.
God, I've seen those
What?
people. They
Yes.
spray it in
Yeah.
the
Spray
air,
a bottle
and
with
it
some vinegar
goes
and
away.
spray it in the general direction of the chemtrail. Freaking 10 or 15 kilometers up, and it just goes away.
Yep. And
Yep.
And what's
It's-
worse, the chemtrails kill the grass in their gardens, doesn't it?
What?
Exactly. They can't figure out why the grass
chem-
is now brown, but
The chemtrail is making the grass go brown.
oh, you know that.
Well,
Because-
if you ask one of them, they'd say it was the fault of chemtrail.
Yeah, that's what I say. You spray the vinegar in there. Vinegar doesn't kill grass. It's that it attaches itself to the chemtrail way up in the sky and pulls it down to the grass. Obviously.
obviously,
Or
I
something.
mean, yeah.
Oh,
Or
that's
something.
where I was going wrong.
Oh, damn!
Wow.
Oh, this is your brain on drugs beam is still here. It is still with us.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever dealt with Thrive and Survive.
Oh Lord.
Yes, unfortunately, we have.
Yeah,
Lion connive. Yeah, we've done it.
we had this video regarding like radar, weather radar. Now, I mean, when I was on the boats, we had a Frono.
Bruno, yeah.
Oh,
we had one of
I
those.
want that one. Jay, you're gonna give me
And-
that one.
And then we had the first one I used was some radon, something or other. Anyways, I used it obviously for collision avoidance, but I also used it for radar. Like, if I was taking a fix on a target that was over the curve, and it was like a tall building, I could see it on my radar. I could go to my chart I could get the range marker to give me the distance, and then I just plot it on my chart and go, yeah, that's my target. But this guy has no clue about how radar works. And I tried to give him a little description in the comments, but I mean, he said he was in the Navy, and I'm just curious. Does anybody know what did he do? Was he a cook? Was he?
He was an
Who the
AG.
fuck? He
He-
was a what?
He was an AG.
Oh.
So nothing technical.
Bas-
He was a data collector for the meteorologist.
Wow, that guy's an idiot.
Yeah, I like
he's an
the-
idiot.
Fucking idiot.
I like this submarine one. So
Ding.
Oh yeah, the submarine one. That was fun.
about submarines having to would pop out of the water. I'm sitting there thinking there is a watch station whose entire purpose.
Well, there's been a video I've been working on that I'm trying to get 5 questions for flat earthers that haven't already been asked. And one of them that I haven't been able to find anybody talking about is what is their explanation of icebergs? Now, icebergs are of different density than water, so there should be nothing that makes an iceberg sink into water. It should sit on top of the water according to the flat earth without gravity. It's not going to have anything pulling it down to cause an equilibrium state. If it's just heavy objects or more dense objects fall to the ground, because that's what their excuse is, right? Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
I mean, they say the reason why a helium balloon falls down inside of a vacuum chamber is because there is no air to stop it from falling from its natural desire to fall. Well, water is there to stop an iceberg from falling.
Yeah.
So to explain that,
And and that's the thing is their argument about it's a greater density. No, it's not.
Well-
Ice is the same density as water. Water is incompressible. The only
no. Water is less dense than ice. I mean, more dense than ice. Ice floats on water.
Yeah.
It's the lattice
Marginally.
structure. It still floats on water. The only thing that brings the ice down is the pull of gravity. That's an equilibrium state that they reach. That the same pull is the same push up. It's a buoyancy state.
Hmm.
Because the lattice structure
Yeah.
spreads the molecules
Ju-
out and makes it actually less dense. At least I'm pretty sure.
Trying to remember the factor.
Yeah, that's about right.
So, but there's that one, and then
Yeah, HGO is one of those weird things where the solid state expands from a liquid state. So it's
Yes.
Mm.
More surface area for the same density, or for the same material, you're looking at less dense. You're looking at it at the solid form being less dense.
the actual effect that it is.
Oh, you're looking.
It's how they can do radar. How they can do radar transmissions without. It doesn't. I don't think it has to do with the cloud cover. I think it's just a. I don't know.
If you use a long wavelength, then you will get ground propagation. What you'll get the ground wave propagation, which actually follows the surface of the Earth, rather than being line of sight.
Yeah, that's actually how the Russians did the OTH, and your ham operators, when they were operating it, would hear like this woodpecker type whistle, and that was the actual OTH wave propagating around.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this particular meme we have here is actually not accurate. They use water for cooling control rods and the piles in a nuclear reactor, not as radiation shielding. You usually use concrete or lead for that.
But in the waste tank like that, it does act as a particle insulator.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a water. I think is one of the better insulators actually.
Water and lead are the two best when you're dealing with the waste rods, the spent fuel rods.
Right.
Well, I'm not even sure about
actually
a
there are
nuclear
better
reactor.
ones than water that are
Yeah,
liquid.
the only thing I was where I heard something similar to this was talking about future technology for space travel using water instead of lead as a defender against cosmic rays. You know, like if you had to go out into deep space, you could use water instead of lead.
Petroleum like diesel and gasoline and stuff is better than water at blocking radiation.
Well, you can put enough air in there and put a layer of some sort of heavy duty liquid in there. You'd probably do just as well. Deuterium oxide, for like this guy here says.
Are we waiting on something?
Actually, I just got a message of something that... Oof. Okay, hang on. There's something I might need to go take care of. Trying to find out now. Because what I am reading, both from the live chat and direct messaging in the back channel, someone's about to be in a world of hurt.
Uh-oh.
Who is?
How well do you know Gary Moore, otherwise
I have no idea.
otherwise known as G-Man?
I have
Oh,
no
I know
idea.
G-Man.
Heard of him?
I know of him.
Oh, I've actually run into. He's actually run into my shield more than once. Usually, it is usually not to great effect on his part.
Yeah, that's I see what he's saying. Why would he do that?
Because he is a petulant little child who threatened to dox someone who was completely innocent, not just that person's child, and that person's parents. And so, seeing as how that didn't work, he's deciding to try to out a good friend of some of ours, Red's Rhetoric.
Yeah. No, I saw that. Now, how could he do that if they don't know his name?
He has met Red in person before.
Oh.
G-Man and Red have met in person. They've known each other for a while in that they were part of the same circle in the Great Debate community. But
Because it's essentially like what you tell us.
the issue that came across now is he threatened to release Red's name. Red doesn't use his name publicly for specific reasons, because he has caused such butthurt that some people have threatened physical harm.
Yeah, I've had a few people already threaten me like that, and I mean, I don't know. I have a different reason for not putting my name out. I don't put my name out because of my business. My business is directly tied to my name. So if people knew my name, there are a lot of trolls out there that just troll. You know, they don't even have a foot in the argument. They're just trolls. They'll go out there. They'll flood your. I have an agreement that with my business partner that I won't put my name out on my YouTube channel. That's why when I did the sensory deprivation, I didn't. They were like, "Well, do you want us to shout out your business?" And I was like, "No, not at all. Don't even worry about that. If you know somebody that wants to try this out, then they can contact you. And if you feel like they're not a troll, then send them my way, and I'll give them a discount. But I'm not putting my business out there."
See, and that's a similar reason why Red has kept his name out of it for a similar thing. Up until a little bit ago, Red was actually working in the fraud department of a fairly sizable national insurance company. He's no longer in that position, but it's still, you find out his name, and people have been able to deduce the rough area that he lives in. That's about all you need to know in order to track him down further, if you are so inclined.
And are willing to put out a little bit of money to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with these crazies. So.
See, G-Man threatened to dox me a while back, just a couple of years ago, and He finally managed to track down a name that was almost correct on the other side of the freaking continent, and I laughed.
Well,
Kind of
you
like
know
what
what?
happened. Kind of
You
like
know
what they
what?
tried to do with Astronomy Live, huh?
Huh?
Kind of like what they tried to do with Astronomy Live.
Oh, they've tried to do it with Astronomy Live. They tried to do it with Soundly. But the bad part with Soundly is when they tried to do it with him, which I actually do know his name. The name that they released was someone else, but not anyone who's active on YouTube. But it was someone who was there with us in Tennessee, who actually does have quite the position. Which I'm gonna put that in the internal chat. That way it stays between us.
But yeah, the second when I laughed at his email the first time, he then sent me a second email declaring that my name was as it was described on the channel at that time, except that he had me in in Tokyo. He put me in Tokyo. Told me that my Japanese ass was going down, and I'm like, okay,
Not
give
even
that a
close. Not even close.
Well, I think people like that are cowards.
Oh,
You know, you're welcome. They wouldn't say the same thing to a professional wrestler who goes by a stage name or an actor or actress that goes by a stage name. They wouldn't say that to them. They only say that to people that they feel are personally attacking their worldview. You know, like I've had this conversation a couple of days ago about. Okay, here's why flat earthers get so mad at us. It's because
we're right.
you know, that's well, it's not even that. It's that it's their worldview. It's what makes them unique to the other people on the earth. So, like, if let's say me and a flat earther are standing there, and some guy walks up and he goes, "Dude, green is not actually green." You know, he says green is you can actually take green and break it down into 6 different colors. Me and the flat earther would be like, "Dude, you're fucking an idiot." You know, green is fucking green, whatever. You know, we wouldn't actually take too much offense to him thinking that green is not green, but he would take offense to us saying that because him understanding the knowledge of green not being green and us just writing him off or proving him wrong is an attack on what makes him unique. So if we prove him wrong, he's no longer unique in his own eyes. And flat earthers are the same way. I mean, they just
The religious mindset. They feel it's their sense of specialness.
yes. Yeah, exactly. And if they don't know something special, then according to them, they've lost uniqueness. They've lost specialness. And they're fucking
So
idiots.
they can't be wrong.
No.
Well, they
That's
couldn't-
why.
Honestly, they couldn't be wrong in the first place.
Well, yeah, I'm saying in their mindset they can't be wrong. So no matter what's in front of them,
Well, okay, so with them, let's say you don't have to get to a moon argument with them. It doesn't ever, it's never going to get past space doesn't exist. So you can't actually argue points of you know, the people going to the moon with a flat earther because he'll be like, yeah, but I don't understand how they can fly through something that's not there. There's no proof of it there. And you're like, what? Am I supposed to bring back a piece of fucking space to prove to you this fucking space exists? Like, dude, you got to get beyond, you know, you have to get beyond this way of thinking, this way of this. I cannot possibly be wrong because if I'm wrong, then everything I believe about life is wrong as well.
See, that's just silly. That is absolutely silly.
But that's exactly the position that they've put themselves in.
That whole line of thought is just ridiculous. We learn things about the universe, about the Earth, ourselves, and the universe all the freaking time. And over that period of time, all we're really doing is refining what we understand. If something comes up that is just completely off out of left field, we have the evidence for it. Okay, we We just need to change the way we're thinking, and it's really not that hard. I mean, you look at the evidence, you go, okay, that's a thing, and you move on with your life. It's not going to destroy who you are just by the nature of the beast. You are not. The universe doesn't give a shit about you. You're not special.
Well, nobody here is saying it's sensical. We're just saying that's their internal mentality. It's the religious mindset to it.
That's the part I never got. I never understood that mindset. It drives me spare when people do that. That just all what that really comes down to is you can't learn new things, and if you stop learning, you might as well not breathe. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just saying we're not.
Prove me wrong.
We're not
here.
justifying. We're not justifying their mindset. We're just stating what it is.
Oh, I know. But what I'm producing here is my argument against that mindset.
Oh yeah.
If you can't change your mind for any reason, you can't learn anything. You might as well be made out of Teflon on the bottom of a frickin' frying pan for all the good you're going to be to anyone,
Wait,
including yourself.
guys. Rob just gave us a great idea as a way to make money from Flat Earth. So we need to make a new channel and start selling jars full of nothing, marked as Jars O Space.
Yeah, he was gonna do it with Dino Ghost, but busy.
So think about that. Get a bunch of mason jars. Actually find a way to seal and vacuum seal them and actually pull a vacuum out of it. And then mark it as Jars of Space. We wouldn't be wrong.
You don't have to. A vacuum's easy. All you need for that really is a pressure canner.
To create the seal, yes, but I'm saying to actively have it be a true vacuum inside to where
Well,
you
doesn't-
actually pull a vacuum out of. Well, yeah,
It
we
doesn't
could go
have to
the
be a true
dishonest
vacuum.
route.
Even hard vacuum isn't really 100% vacuum.
True.
Okay.
True.
Still got little bits of dusty shit in there.
Hey, you know what? Steam canning ain't that difficult.
Well, guys, I got to bail. I got to put my grandkids to bed.
All right, Charlie. You have a good night, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Nice to meet you.
Hey, same here, guys. I really enjoyed this. Take care.
Yeah. Next
care,
Friday
Charlie.
we'll be back.
Oh, absolutely. Later.
Later, bro.
And yep, if steel is broken, warranty expired. I like it.
Well, assuming for a moment that the jar doesn't explode the second that the seal is broken, or explode when the vacuum is applied, or
Well-
implode, excuse me.
Well, no. Instead of doing a vacuum, yeah, just steam seal it. Just vacuum seal it that way. And this way, if they try to break it open to test it, well, you void the warranty.
Well, if you broke it open, you've already broken the seal. So
Exactly. So it doesn't matter.
regardless of the pressure that was in there before, that's as long as it's lower than the ambient pressure, it's going to be ambient pressure when you crack it open. So.
Oh, that is a good idea, Rob. We could have fun with that one.
Oh yeah.
You get mason jars for what, like $1.50 each? So
Oh,
sell them for like
probably
$2.
even
Go to
less.
Costco. Go to Costco.
Yeah, probably go less than that. I have a pressure canner.
No, I could probably get one.
Where's Bo at?
He's
Good,
hiding for a special.
good question. I haven't seen him in a bit, and I actually haven't seen him active in Discord in a while either.
To cuss at him for not being here.
Well,
Tell
if
him
he
that's unacceptable, shipmate.
if he shows up in the chat of movie night, then we can all give him hell.
Oh fuck! I missed this non sequitur show today.
That's all right.
The geocentric talk.
sell like 8-ounce jars of space for like $2.50 or 16-ounce jars for $4.
Let's see.
Damn it, Rob! You see what you started.
We can have it as a fundraiser.
Okay, you're looking at.
Dude,
8-ounce jars for. Let's see. Actually, no. Give me a second here. Individual. This is Walmart, of course. If you want a 16-ounce, that's a pint jar, you're paying $1.47 for them. You sell them for $15. And he's fucking
Yeah.
just lap them up.
Oh yeah,
I was just getting up to do that actually. I'm in a live stream, but I was just getting up to cook some food real quick.
But actually, so with that, the fundraising idea. Fundraising for a flat Earth expedition to Antarctica.
Yep. Or a seat on the first civilian space flight.
Well, no, see, I don't see them going for that one, but funding a flat Earth research expedition to Antarctica, they would fall for that one. We just have to hurry up and do this before Jism gets the idea.
Like any of them would actually ever go there.
That's why I said Jism, because he would get the idea, get the funding, and then not do shit with it.
Say he didn't fill out the form properly to go there, so it's a government conspiracy.
Yeah, well, we'll know the penguins will get you.
Well, see,
Elite squad of commando penguins.
See, I have an in with the guy who's actually maintaining the penguin force, so I can have it programmed in, so we're cool.
Hey, Jared, you know that to the other services we are known, the RAF is known as the Penguins.
Interesting.
Wonder why.
Don't really know. It's one of those fairly old ones that have been around a while.
Rob is in the chat. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Flat Earth is growing each and every day.
Yeah.
There's our stock. There's our stock, guys.
Too bad none of them can navigate. So.
Oh yeah, we don't have to worry
Maybe
about
that's
him
a
on
good
that
thing.
aspect.
Maybe that's a good thing. Never mind.
That would be an incredibly good thing, in my opinion.
Here's a live view of the ice wall, Jared.
Bye-bye.
Nice.
A live view of the ice wall?
Nice.
I can't see.
Exactly.
Can't see.
Oh, I'm a fucking dumbass. I'm like, God damn, what am I missing? Hurry, find the picture. I swear to God, I clicked on your name, I clicked on Jared's name, then I clicked on my name to clear everybody, and I'm like, it's still black.
You know what, Skeptic? They got, honestly, they got us both. Like, wait a second, that's a black. Okay. Then I got stupid to open it out.
I'll admit, I didn't say it, but I briefly thought that for a moment before wait a minute.
What had happened the other day at work, I was changing out one of our icy machines from passion fruit, orange, mango freeze to watermelon. This is what's left over of the palm juice, and it's frozen state. I'm like, oh, it's the flat earthers ice wall bathed in the blood of flat earthers trying to get there. The penguin form.
Nice.
Damn.
I shared it in Psystrike's Flat Earther page on his Discord server too. Didn't get the response I was looking for though.
Oh, to be honest, I don't get many
unfortunately,
alerts.
Uber isn't going to be able to do a boat service to the ice wall there, Rob. It just won't work. You might be able to con somebody into creating an Uber aircraft service. I'd go there.
All right, which channel? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a feeling not many people watch those channels as often.
No. I was expecting from some of these guys that are actually commentating in there quite frequently, since I kind of interrupted the whole conversation. But then they just carried on. I should have probably put it in the screen cap, even though it wasn't.
Which one was that?
It was my ice wall. I put it in Cystrix Flat Earthers section on his Discord.
I don't know. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. It's just right in the middle of everything, you know, and so nobody even noticed it.
And
I spotted it actually because you put that up at about 10:30 this morning. Because I was doing something else entirely.
for those
Oh, right.
actually watching the stream, I have it showing now. Yeah, that looks about accurate.
Because of course, flat earthers don't bleed red properly. They have to do this kind of in an orange fashion. Kind of an orangey pink thing for flat earthers. Ugh. You know, we actually diverged quite away from the original politics we were doing.
You're welcome.
It was my fault for showing up.
Oh, I
no,
should.
it continued a little bit after you got here, but it then kind of wandered off. Oh well, so big. I had my fun out of it, so I'm good.
Yeah, I've always said I like talking politics. It's just I don't think my subscribers would like that. I think because I've only put out science-y stuff, I think that's what they'd probably prefer.
Well, when I started my channel originally, I was doing science debunks and politics with it, some other random shit.
Yeah, but
So-
the whole debunking feminism shit has already been done so over the top. Like, there's no new arguments that feminists are putting out there, and there's no new evidences to debunk them with. It's all like the same cycles that were happening 5 years ago. They are natural cycles, you know. So
Yeah.
it still goes on today. Like, women are still gonna want to do women things, and men are still gonna want to do men things, and that ultimately is what decides all the numbers that are used as evidences on either side of that argument.
Oh, Skeptic, take a look at the name of this guy.
He's running for Senate here.
Oh my fuck! Who is? I'm gonna fucking vote for that guy.
See, I'm telling you.
I haven't even read what his experience is. I'm just voting for him.
Oh yeah. His elected experience is free market good space guy, was electronically defeated 18 times.
Electorally defeated.
Or electorally, sorry. Said it right the first time an hour or so ago.
Yeah, well,
2 hours ago.
he's got a bachelor's and a master's degree, but he doesn't say what in. He's made his money by means of investment. He was born in Minnesota, was educated in Germany, Sweden, and America, including business and economics.
What's his like economic policy? I'm trying to find it.
Oh, policy.
Actually, believe it or not, it looks really similar to the general Republican line. Get rid of as much government as you can and leave the markets to do their thing.
Okay, so he's pro-capitalism.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like that guy.
Well, you better get moving, but if you want to qualify as a voter here, you're going to have to do it soon.
I see that. I see what you're highlighting now.
Yeah. I was looking at my online ballot and I saw that name. I'm like, okay, I gotta try and find his file somewhere so I can look at it. I was half expecting like a. What was the?
I'm gonna go to that blog. I want to see that. Scroll down. Back to the bottom.
I love it. I love how it doesn't say Republican Party. It says
Oh,
prefers.
yeah.
Prefers. That's the ultimate. They need to do away with parties. Parties are stupid. They need to have they need to have 10 candidates, and all 10 of them need to debate each other, and then they need to have 5. You know, and then they take all 5 of those and debate each other, and then you have 3. And you take those 3 and you let them run it out all the way to the end. And if one of them wants to drop out because they're getting too far behind, but there shouldn't be Republican versus Democrat. That's the stupidest thing on earth. That sets your morals. That's like saying Christian versus Muslim. You know, that's not. It doesn't allow 2 of the best candidates coming from the Republican Party to each have a chance at being the president. You have to go through a Republican primary or whatever it is. I'm not familiar. Is it a primary also in the Republican Party?
Yeah,
Primary for all the
As you're
parties.
building, yeah. So as you're building up and eliminating candidates, you could be eliminating somebody that might, you know, have a good point of view or a good say further down the road, you know, and might be able to sway a few votes his way or enough to make a difference at least. I just think it's stupid that we have to put. I mean, I know people run as independent, but nobody wins outside of Republican or Democrat.
Well,
Our
it's
system's
free
geared towards the
market
2 party
economics
system.
and profit at a higher and a higher technology to raise the living standard of for an increasing percentage of workers on spaceship Earth, and to get some of them and their descendants into becoming orbital, privately owned space habitats around Earth in the Goldilocks zone around our star. Haha. He's trying to. He wants the folks in Earth orbit to learn how to live in space before we send humans out to orbit Mars, and he wants to lower the costs of the coming Mars mission.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of crazy right there. But
Well, you know what? If it sounds like a lot of crazy, it probably is. But you know what? if that's where he's going, fuck, I'd look forward to it.
It could be entertaining.
You know what? Honestly, at this point, he's as far as I can tell, this is probably the most honest politician that there is. So, I'm good.
Which is why
That-
he's lost.
I was about to say, which is why he's going to lose, because he's such an honest person. He's not telling them, yeah, we're
don't
going to
know
lower
what-
taxes.
I have been hunting for a while and can't figure out what
I can't
FDFR means as a
can't
party.
Yeah. Yeah, what does that
It's a
mean?
probably free democratic fucking Republican or something.
I have no
I don't
clue.
know.
Human Rights Party.
Heard about that one.
Yeah,
Stand up-
don't want
stand
those
up
guys
America.
in your those guys in your
no part
vocab.
of those people. I'm waiting to
There you
see
go.
a candidate from the DSA.
Oh
Come
fuck!
on,
Look at
no.
that. Steve
Just
Hoffman,
no.
communist.
No. Commie.
Yeah. So,
Mostly Republicans, it looks like.
yeah, a lot of Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. So,
Not so many Democrats. I haven't seen very many of those at all.
I'm surprised.
Uh,
I'm surprised
one,
there's no
two.
one going
There's
with
one,
the
two.
business in the front, party in the back.
3, 4, 5 Democrats in the primary. This is just a primary ballot.
And that's
So-
page 1 of 14.
Yep.
Could
In
you
order to
imagine
go
if some-
forward, I have to actually vote. So,
Could you imagine if somebody like PewDiePie ran for president, and he got like a majority of the votes?
He'd have
Just-
to run for prime minister in England.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, I'm saying like let's say we had somebody here in America that had 50 million subscribers, and they're all, let's say 35 of them are voting age, 35 million votes. Now, you got to add some people who would vote for him because he maybe has an idea that they like, or just like, oh, look at this guy, you know, I'm gonna vote for him because everybody's voting for him. And that happens in that world, you know, when you're talking about the millennials and the super young adults. A lot of them just follow the way the water goes, you know, they just follow
Call it the
downstream.
crowd.
Yeah, exactly. So, which you find that a lot of political rallies, you know, you go and you talk to those people, and on all sides they're just so misinformed, you know, and they have no idea what they even stand for.
yeah.
Or whether or not they actually stand for anything.
Oh no, they'll stand for anything. They want you to tell them what to stand for. You know, it's just like flat earthers they stand behind the fact that gravity doesn't exist. They stand behind it because somebody ahead of them told them. stand behind this, through
Yeah.
repetitive YouTube videos denouncing gravity, and those people are like, "Yep, gravity must not exist. Look, he has 105,000 subscribers. Must not. He must know what he's talking about." That appeal to popularity or whatever.
Yeah.
Argument ad populum. Which is a retarded argument.
It is. It's when it comes to politics, in my view, it literally, if I sit there and say I can't be wrong, then I'm already wrong. I need to look at what everybody stands for, and if something comes out like a major bill from the Senate or even something here in the state, I don't just read like my local newspaper because I know it has a very left-leaning bias. I go and try and find the conservative side of it too, and I know the truth is somewhere in the middle. And if I just actually can get a chance to get a hold of the bill before it's voted on, I can actually read what it says, and from there I can make a better informed decision on what I want my representative to do.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like in recent history, like maybe the last 5 years, you're gonna find more correct information from alternative news sources, like people who take it seriously on YouTube and a few other places that they put out videos.
Yeah.
But I think they put in a lot more of their company being completely right and fighting and just slandering the other side and presenting that as news. That's fucking retarded.
Yeah. That's why I go to like the newspapers and the alternative media, because even though the newspapers are dying, many of the ones in my area try to still be as unbiased as possible, but they still have their biases no matter what, like you're saying. But if you can if you can get a hold of the actual source that's the issue, like, an actual bill that's being presented into Congress or your state legislature, and read it for what it says, you can then understand what it's actually saying, and you don't have to rely on the news sources or even other people's opinions.
Yeah.
That's why what was it they were discussing in the state here about the state legislature being exempt or not exempt from public disclosure rules that the legislature has placed on the executive branch and the judiciary here in the state of Washington. And when you go back and look at the bill, they didn't actually exclude themselves, but they left some questionable doubt that they could go back and say, "Oh, well,
We
it
don't
says
have to give this to you."
yeah, pretty much." And that's what the news media was saying. It's like, look, we know it doesn't specifically say you have to, but it doesn't say that you're not exempt from it either. And now they're trying to backpedal and go back and change it, but the courts aren't allowing them to. Because it's like, no, you need to do this too. So,
Hey, how many of y'all are familiar with like the sovereign citizen stuff? Are there actual laws that do protect them?
I am kind of.
I find it funny. I've been watching a lot of idiot compilation videos lately, and those guys seem to have the most stupidest luck. Like they always try to fight the cops, and
And
the
lose.
cops are trying to let them go. Like I've seen so many where the cops like, dude, if you just give me your ID and your insurance, and I'll just double check to make sure you don't have any warrants and that everything's okay, and you can go on your way. No, I refuse. Okay, well now I'm going to have to arrest you until I can determine who you are, and that's law.
Yeah, they bring it on themselves by doing that.
Oh, I've seen so many windows broken unnecessarily.
yeah.
I love those videos, man. But
They
where
get
do they
these
get
arguments.
this idea?
They get these arguments,
Hogan.
and it's from people that put it out there, and it's like cherry picked quotes from law. Like you can actually find some of the stuff they talk about, but when you actually go back and actually look at the greater like SCOTUS
Context.
decision or whatnot, the larger context, it's not really saying what they're inclined to claim it is.
They're taking the lawyer's mentality of when you're arguing a case, you literally cherry pick what it says and twist it to what it means for your point of view, and then you have to try and convince the judge or jury to do this. Well, it's easier for you to put out a little blurb or even a meme that shows, somebody holding up a sign in a baggie with their ID that says, "This is my ID. I'm not rolling down my window, but and I'm not going to talk to you unless you have proof of why." Because it was like what was that meme? It was DUI checkpoints. You know how they're not legal,
Yeah.
things like that. And it's like, if you have nothing, again, I stem from the fact that if I have nothing to hide, then I'm going to cooperate. If I have something to hide, then by not cooperating, I'm just giving them suspicion to actually investigate me more.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
the funny thing is, in those videos, they have nothing to hide. Like the
I know.
cop's trying to let them go, and
Yeah.
they just piss the cop off to the point where he's like, "Okay, I'm not fucking letting you go anymore. You're going to jail now. You win."
And Rob in the chat brought up a very good one. Dave Murphy, aka Allegedly Dave.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
What about him? Tell me.
He is a freeman of the land, and he had a recorded incident with the cops that Rob also put the link for. That is absolutely fucking hilarious.
Oh my fucking god!
Oh,
no
and
way.
it's part 1. Oh, how many parts is it?
Oh my god!
3?
Hold on, stop! I can't listen to you guys. I have to go watch this. Like I'm not watching it right now, but I'm definitely adding it to my future debunk list.
Yeah.
All right, yes, good deal. Look at that, 470 dislikes.
Oh God, and how embarrassing he's a Brit.
Oh,
And wasn't he one of the ones that they brought on to that morning show a little while back?
Oh what?
He was on one of them where he was on the one with
Possibly
the
I can't bear to watch that, just because that program is in it.
Are you talking about the one that I did where it was the 3 people on the morning show
Yeah.
in Britain?
Yeah,
No, he wasn't a part of that. He wasn't a part of that
The morning show is actually called This Morning.
this morning.
I've actually been watching a lot of Bearing lately. Just kind of laughing at that.
Did you see? You saw the one from you saw the one that was up this morning.
Oh yes, I did.
Oh,
That was hilarious.
I'm sorry. I'm completely behind the frickin' politician he was talking about there.
Oh, I know. I told him I
That's
wish
the
more
one he
politicians
pissed
in America
off.
would be like
Him.
You said Bearing? Is that the guy that recently got his channel deleted and he got it back?
Yeah.
the one who avatars an anime is the bear.
Yeah, kind of like a Berenstein bear, kind of.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he did he filled in for Sargon of Akkad on Sargon's channel not too long ago. That's when I first saw him. I really like watching Sargon of Akkad.
So do I.
I don't think that he has that. I don't think anybody's perfect, including him, including me, including everybody on this panel. And I would never expect you guys to be perfect. And I don't expect anybody that I watch on YouTube to be perfect. But I do find that some people have a very good grasp and understanding of what's really wrong with society. And I think
And
he's
he
one of
definitely
those
does.
people.
Yeah.
He's one of those people. And he'll talk to you and he'll prove it to you. And he doesn't get upset and angry when defending his arguments.
Yeah, he won't talk down to you at all unless you start talking down to him in a way, and then he feels like he has to do it back to get his point across.
Did y'all catch him on the Non Sequitur show?
I started watching it, but I haven't had a chance to finish it yet.
You know, I'm going to tell you, that particular episode for Sargon fans is not going to be one of his better ones because the girl Brittany, I think her name, I don't remember exactly what her name is. It might have been Brittany, but she was too nice. Like, she wasn't really defending the side on the other side of Sargon. From watching Sargon, he was like, yeah, you're nice, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to discuss this topic right here. And
yeah, I could tell from what I saw.
Part of that, I got bored about 15 minutes in and said, you know what? There's not going to be an argument here. There's going to be you trying to be nice to everybody and Sargon going, what the fuck am I supposed to talk about?
Have y'all seen the Thomas Smith versus Sargon of Akkad? I love that. That was so good.
I actually just watched it on his from about a year ago, just after the Charlottesville thing happened. Like literally, it was like that weekend, I think. He was doing a live stream on his live stream channel with a guy named V, and they were talking about one of the Crash Course sociology episodes, It's like an
Oh,
hour and
yeah.
44 minutes. It's really worth it.
Back sideways with SJW bullshit. And
See, now I could put out SJW videos. I could put out anti-SJW, anti-Antifa. I could do anti-white nationalists. It doesn't have to be on the left only. I'm well informed enough on those topics to be able to speak on them. I just don't, because YouTube is as far left of a media group as you can possibly find.
no, there's worse.
Well, no, because YouTube is regulated because of how they present their business. They are regulated by the government too. Because so like Facebook got in trouble for this, because when Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all them, when they reach a certain level of influence in society, rules get made for those people to keep them from becoming like a monopoly and other things. Facebook, for instance, was getting in trouble because they were promoting left groups like the politicians, and they were not giving the same treatment to the right-sided politicians like the Facebook groups. And they got in trouble at Congress for doing this. So YouTube falls under the same rules. The thing is that YouTube's algorithms can go in there and find out that you're talking about anti-SJW and demonetize you or put your video to where it's not listed. But then you go over to the Antifas and they're like, oh, hate Whitey and this and that. And it's totally cool for them to say it.
Yep.
Because it's right along the lines of the political agenda of the media, which is primarily always left. You don't want the media to say something, something controversial that doesn't appeal to the masses of poor people out there. So that's why they always find themselves on the left. The ones that are on the right, they're really only appealing to the upper middle class and the upper class. Those are the people that truly benefit from the right if they're uninformed about politics. Like if you're uninformed about politics, then you're poor, then you're definitely going to like what the left has to say about the economy. You're not going to like the right saying, oh, let's give tax breaks to the corporations and to the rich people and to this and that, and it'll create jobs in the future. They don't want to hear that. They want money for themselves. They want poor people to be better, not rich people to be better to help poor people be better. They want poor people to be better. They don't care about the rich people. So when you're uninformed, you find like the news, people that watch the news are the poor people of America. They go home and they sit down in front of their TV and they turn it on and they relax before another day of blue collar work. That's your typical leftist. A left person is your blue collar employee or your unemployed, your person that comes from lower.
The blue collar workers are starting to run much more conservative now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, and not just now. Again, they're starting to swing back that way.
Yeah.
Well, ever since Hillary Clinton, once Hillary Clinton stepped forward as when you were really down to Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and you're on the left and you're like, damn, I got to choose between a communist and a fucking psychotic woman. And you're like, yeah, I'll go with I'll just go ahead and either not vote or I'll go vote for the reality TV star billionaire.
Hang on, skeptic. I got to stop you because Flat Earth Math is in the chat and he is exceptionally triggered by this conversation. And
I hope not.
And that means you've committed a thought crime. I mean a hate crime because of it.
No. I'm all for I'm all for the equality of every single human being, but I do expect people to pull their weight, and that's probably because I was in the military, and it didn't matter whether you're a woman, white, black, didn't matter. You pull your weight, you're good to go.
You know how I operate is that if I develop a particular position and I put it out there, and if a conservative and liberal both disagree with me for opposite reasons, I'm most likely right.
Now I gotta get in the chat.
Well, and then, on top of that, the far left at this point is getting increasingly authoritarian, which is not a thing I'm particularly fond of.
Okay, has it pretty good.
Despise shit like that. Jeff Hardy over on the other side of the continent might get offended. Then I'm going to tell you where you can shove both the word and him
was when Jordan Peterson, I'm trying to remember the British reporter's name, the lady, and she said something to him about she was like, as to why I should feel a certain way, and it's making me feel uncomfortable. You know, what gives you the right to make me feel uncomfortable? It in an effort to, you know, continue conversation, to actually open dialogue, you're going to have to make somebody feel uncomfortable a little bit. Kathy Newman, right. And she was
That's
like,
right.
she started to go to a different point and she stopped and she was like, you know,
So
you
what you're
got me.
saying is, so what you're saying,
And I don't think Jordan Peterson's completely right in everything he says
No,
either.
oh,
Like, and I think you're a man. If I think you're a boy, okay, it feels more natural for me to call you him, and you're a girl, okay, and maybe that's what you're going for. And then this other girl comes in who's obviously a girl, and I think of that person as her. I shouldn't have to make sure that both of them are okay with my assumption. Being fucking confusing. You know, nobody knows. There are people that dress up as a woman one day and want to be called her one day and come out the next day and they're a man and they want to be called him. And it's not that they're switching their personalities. It's literally because they just want to do this. It's them. It's their way of living, and they expect you to not just respect it, but to fall in line with their way of living.
To kowtow to it, yeah. Skeptic, you should come live in Olympia, Washington, right near Evergreen State College. You'll have a field day with those people.
God, I'd go out there too to talk to them.
you know what? There would be a riot inside of 15 minutes, and I would be there with bells on to sell tickets. But no,
I'd be taking
I
bets.
would, no, you think I'm kidding? I'd grab Jay, and we'd be sitting there on the sideline with a big ass barrier, going, "You want in? You want in? $20."
Exactly.
I have no problem.
Flying to speak.
I have no problem addressing somebody with whatever pronoun they want to be addressed with, but I don't think people
Exactly.
should take offense based upon it. Like, okay, if you appear to be a man and I call you a man, but you identify as female, feel free to correct me, but don't get angry about it. I just
Exactly.
made an assumption. It's
I actually
it'd be so
we
much
just got a
easier if people were more civil about this.
And you know, a lot of
just-
times Jordan Peterson says that. He says that they
Some
Jordan
pronoun I've never heard of, and I'm supposed to call you that on our first meeting when I
Yeah.
don't know you from Adam, Eve, Steve, or whoever the fuck, Lando Calrissian, then you might want to check your attitude.
Well, that's what I say. Jordan Peterson said it before. He's like, look, if it's not that a certain person wants to be called a certain thing. He said, if a student comes up to me and says, hey, I'm transsexual and I am a girl, but I prefer to be called a boy. If that's the case, then he has no problem giving that person the male pronouns. But when it's a political agenda that they're trying to accomplish by getting him to say that, by acknowledging the validity of the argument, that's when he's like, nope, I am not going to do it under those conditions. I will do it under my own condition, but not under those.
That's exactly what's going on at my work right now. We just hired a transgender person who's male, hasn't gone through any of the surgeries or anything like that, but identifies as female.
That
She's
probably
come out.
has a bushy ass beard.
Nope, doesn't. Clean shaven every day. But
Oh, well, at least, you know what? At least at that point, they're making an attempt.
Exactly. But the few times that I have slipped up at work, I'm like, oh crap, I'm sorry, because I was pre-warned by my bosses that this was going on. She's been like, oh, don't worry about it. No big deal. I know you're gonna mess up until you get comfortable with it. Just take your time. Those people I can deal with. Those people I can work with, and I have no problem with it. It's the ones that come into my store that are just like, I'm this, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, you should be, because you should have known. I'm like, I don't know you. How am I supposed to know this ahead of time? And I know it's just them trying to make their political statement to be mad at us for whatever.
Oh dear.
Jared, Rob's giving us the countdown.
Yep.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
If you have
Actually-
not stocked up on your booze tonight, You might want to go do it now.
Yeah.
I didn't. I left out early
mi-
last week. I was so tired. I didn't even drink anything last Friday. I got half a bottle of whiskey still left.
Yeah, well, you're gonna need more. You're gonna need at least 3 more. 3.5 more would be ideal.
Do you know
the
what video
is
we're
out
doing
on
tonight?
Strike's Discord, and it looks.
Oh, it's gonna be a gem.
Remind me.
How do I find that? How do I find that? I'm on the Discord.
panel members on Science Strike Force.
Yeah, under panel members. So tonight's menu.
I'm
Flatter.
not on the panel menu. I'm on panel.
So
members.
text channel panel members.
Oh wait, there it is. I see it now.
There you go. Scroll up to 1129.
Sun angle solved by Flutter's Crush.
Oh no, it doesn't. It says it won't let me go any further than 4/14/2018.
Yeah, wrong direction.
Yeah, no, I'm going down, bro. I'm not that fucking stupid.
Well, you have your
Live number
moments.
24, astronomical refraction,
see.
magnification, distortion, and more by Jeranism, an hour and 18 minutes, or How the Southern Stars Work on Flat Earth by Dubay.
Oh, my suggestion's
Oh.
in there. Yay.
Yeah, hey, I already did a debunk on that video. I can.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a fun one. And like I said, so the 30 rack may or may not be enough.
I don't
No,
think
it's
it
not
will.
enough.
Honestly, I'm gonna wish here real soon. I'd managed to scrape up the about $200 for four 1.75 liter bottles of cheap ass scotch. I wouldn't
Hey,
break
Jared,
out the good scotch for any of that.
Yeah, what's up?
If I'm not back by the time that Sai, because I gotta run and get some food real quick. If I'm not back by the time Sai's starting to do his vote, you know what my vote is. It's the Eric Dubé video.
I will-
All right.
You know what? I'm just gonna tell him that. Where is it, panel members?
I mean, it won't even let me fucking. It won't even let me. The panel member links under important.
No, it's called panel members. There's a
There,
text-
Yeah,
there's not. I don't have one that
the-
says panel member.
So if you look in the text channels, right under
Uh-huh.
quotes, it says panel members.
Mine says screen caps,
You
and
don't.
then it says ham radio and capalog.
You don't even. Wow. Okay, hang on.
I see the
Oh,
panel
I
number
gotta
links at
have
the top
special-
under important.
yeah, we gotta have
I'm not
special
important.
permissions for that.
I'm not important. I forgot. Thanks, Sai.
Although I'm on his Twitter feed, so I do get it over there too. And
Well,
RJ responds.
unfortunately for Sai, I'm busy all of a sudden.
Actually,
RJ's response on Twitter is pretty funny.
he's
Well,
actually-
debate should be fun.
He's actually actively in that chat, and he's been told now twice that you need to
Yeah.
be added to panel members there, Scap.
Back to back. So
We'll see if I quit or
I
not.
also entered your vote for Dubé.
Oh yeah, for sure. If he doesn't put me on the fucking panel members, I swear to God, I'm going to quit YouTube. You let him know. He's already added me, but I'm just saying. If he decides against it, I'm done. I'm gone. See you guys
You
later.
are actually on the team. You are actually on the list here, so you should be able to see it.
Yeah, that shows how much respect I get. He's scared of losing me. Scared. All right, well, guys, I'm gonna go grab a little bite to eat real quick so I can be back for that. Jared, as always, brother, it's a pleasure. I love doing these Friday nights with you, man. This is
oh
fucking
yeah,
fun.
this has been a blast, especially tonight with how varied the topics have been and how free flowing it's been. This is really what I was hoping for. This type of show where, yeah, we rag on each other, we have the jokes going out back and forth, but at the same time, we're talking about shit that actually matters.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do for next week, or I'm gonna try to do it for next week. If I don't get it done for next week, I'll get it done for the week after. I'm gonna put together about a 20-minute clip of military fails, so that we can go over. I'll pick the best ones, the funniest ones I can find, and I'll put together just a little clip that we can all fucking talk a little bit of shit about. I think that would be fun.
Oh yeah, that.
That'd be great.
That sounds hilarious, actually.
And actually, if we're doing it from a video, I will be able to do a presentation similar to Psystrike on that. So
Okay.
fucking have at it. And with that, you guys already who are watching this either live or later, you now have a warning for what we're going to be doing next week. And with that, recover.
You have been warned.
Yes, you have been warned. But with that, we have about a little under 15 minutes before Psystrike is due to go live, which gives me time to relax and get the beer ready. So with that, we are out.